Hello, I am a straight white middle-aged male with a podcast and an opinion.
Listen to me talk.
Here's my opinion about Critters.
Critters is not a Gremlins ripoff.
Critters is kind of a Gremlins ripoff, but is not defined by that. If Gremlins never existed, Critters would be all right.
And Critters probably wouldn't exist either.
Discuss.
So, we are here today to talk about
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Well, okay, we did
partially because Freddy Krueger is in Critters 2.
We did a poll on our
page. And by Freddy Krueger, I mean a cardboard cutout of Freddy Krueger.
We're going to talk about the Critters, I was going to say box set, the series today.
Yeah.
We almost had to do Nightmare on Elm Street because we did a poll on Patreon. And I don't know how this works on Patreon because...
What's Patreon?
It's a thing where you give money to people so they can tell you and talk on the internet.
Once you get a real job.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I have one of those.
Oh, shit.
So we did a poll, and I feel like you can just vote multiple times because, I mean, I am not a user. What's the word I'm thinking of? I'm not a patron of our own Patreon, so I don't know how polls work if you're an actual patron. I think you can just vote. I voted on our own poll. Like, I wanted to test it out, and it let me vote on it, which is weird. So Critters won the poll. I don't know how to stop the poll from being voted on anymore. And I went back a couple days later, and Critters was tied with Nightmare on Elm Street. And so I just voted for Critters, and I gave it one more up. And I went, okay, we're doing Critters. Because I didn't know how to stop. Like, I wanted to stop the poll and go.
See, this is why we need campaign finance reform.
I was like, 3-4 days. Whoever votes, cut it off. But the vote just stayed there. So it changed after we'd already made the decision. But my vote pushed it over the edge. So we're talking about Critters today.
Yeah. Because somebody gifted me the Scream Factory box set.
Oh, I wanted to buy it, and it was too expensive. So when you said that you were getting it, I went, perfect. This is the best way to do this. So I watched Critters. That spring is really loud. I watched Critters as a kid.
Really?
Or teenager, like watching on USA. Joe Bob Briggs style, late night. Speaking of Joe Bob Briggs, he's wrote a review for the movie that was like glowing.
Yeah.
And he was actually very helpful in them getting...
a sequel.
No, more like appeal, mainstream, word out.
Okay.
Joe Bob Briggs endorses it, gets more eyeballs on the product.
Think that Joe Bob Briggs was a thing like in 1980, whatever.
Is this a cult? I mean, it is a cult franchise, but I mean...
Yeah.
Does Critters have any actual appeal?
Well, yes, but... I remember in the special features of the sequel, I don't remember who said it, but it might have been Mick Garris, but they were like, yeah, so we made the sequel and then nobody watched it.
Yeah.
Turns out nobody really wanted a Critter sequel. Yeah. I don't know. I think a lot of people probably do just relegate it to...
Because the first one was like semi-successal...
Enough, yeah.
Enough, right. So is it just that like the fandom that's out there, or at least like... Okay, we always do the what's that video? Terradrome? Is that the fighting video game that had Pinhead, Hellraiser, all stuff? Chucky.
Why aren't Krites in there?
Well, we always do like, is this a B tier horror film? Is it a C tier? Is it D tier? I thought Critters was like B tier.
Oh, for sure.
But after watching the second, third, and fourth movies and the special features and box offices, turns out I think it's more like C to D tier.
Yeah, I would say even lower than B. Yeah, for sure.
So maybe the first movie is B tier, and then the other three drag the series down. Now, that doesn't mean I don't like it. We're just talking about from a perspective of like, it's not Child's Play. It's not Leprechaun even.
See, now, I would say no, definitely not Child's Play. Child's Play is like up there.
Right.
And the quality is up there.
I mean, but those last three Child's Play movies are just
amazing.
Those last four, they're all over the place, but they're there.
But there's going to be a fucking Child's Play TV show and a reboot movie, so like it's a thing.
Oh, I don't even want to get into that. That's ridiculous.
So, but I'll rewatch the Leprechaun movies and see if I change my mind. But I think the Leprechaun movies are mostly all pretty forgettable. And yet, so that's what I'm saying is like Critters. For some reason, Leprechaun is way, way more iconic, like for 90s horror. Like people remember Leprechaun.
But I think even
Leprechaun in space.
The sequels actually had a good amount of gore. It had the same actor.
Yeah.
Like, whereas these sequels turn into like, wow, there's no creatures for the first 45 minutes of the movie. You came here to see Critters and you're not watching Critters.
The third one because there's no budget.
Fourth one.
And the fourth one. The fourth one barely has any critters in it at all.
That's what I'm saying. So anyways, let's just start off Critters 1.
What was your question?
Basically, where in the pantheon of like horror
So I feel like what would you equate it to? Like what's another franchise, like Children of the Corn? something.
Oh man, I don't even know, because I know that Children of the Corn is something that if you say it out loud, everyone has heard of that.
Yeah.
But if you ask people, have you actually ever watched Children of the Corn? I don't think anyone ever has.
Yeah.
But
that might be
tried watching the first one maybe 6 years.
I think you and I watched it together in college.
Yeah, right. And I
remember not thinking it was very good.
I watched it while working security guard in the middle of the night on a portable DVD player and went, this is so goddamn boring.
They made a bunch of those.
Right. Well, they don't cost anything, but you just put some kids in a field.
But even Children of the Corn, it's not like all these other things we're comparing it to, because Children of the Corn doesn't have a mascot.
Right.
It doesn't have any kind of icon.
Puppet Master.
Puppet Master.
See, I feel like...
No, Puppet Master's way bigger than Critters, because that's a huge following of toys, and
yeah, I guess
that Charles Band, I think is his name. That guy's created his own little empire with...
So, I mean...
But you're right in the sense that No,
I'm thinking about the first one, and I'm thinking about, God, what is it called? Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Right. See, even Killer Clowns...
But that one's actually got a lot
I think
of
Killer
effects.
Clowns from Outer Space has way more...
What are we talking about?
we're kind of talking about sort of how Critters...
Whatever. Critters is its own thing.
Yeah.
The first Critters movie...
I'm surprised I had never seen a Critters movie until this point.
The first Critters movie, the first Leprechaun movie, the first Puppet Master movie, I think they're all ooh, good job, cool enough, has what you want, whatever. And then the sequels in different series go into I mean, did you know there's 9 Puppet Master movies?
I thought there were even more than that.
Or 11 or something like that? Yeah, I mean, there's only 4 Critters movies, but there's 8.
I saw Littlest Reich last year.
I want to watch. See, that's why I want to get to that. But there's 8 Leprechaun movies. There's 10 Puppet Master movies. There's only 4 Critters movies. So there's obviously
not enough there for them to... Right. And then 3 and 4 were shot back to back.
Right.
So you don't even have that.
3 and 4 barely even exist, for that matter.
Yeah.
So Critters is a weird thing. And it has some of the most important people to do special effects and directing... to be involved in this movie.
It's funny because I've heard the Kyoto brothers.
Right.
That name meant something to me before. Then as soon as I linked it up with Killer Clowns, I'm like, oh, okay. But is there something else that I'm missing? I didn't do any research on this.
About who?
Kyoto brothers.
Oh, no, I didn't do any research on them.
Okay. Because as far as I know, they did Critters, they did Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and I don't know anything else.
Oh,
I'm sure they worked on other stuff.
A lot of stuff. Nightmare on Elm Street. They were working on the sequels, I think.
So Killer Clowns and Critters are the things that are really special for them because they designed that.
Well, it was early. This is like K&B doing Evil Dead, right? K&B obviously has gone on to can you name me past Evil Dead, past George Romero, Tom Savini? I mean, that's not K&B, but they were there. Day of the Dead's K&B. What did they do afterwards?
Who?
K&B. Can you really think of that many? And obviously they've done a billion things, but your brain always goes to Evil Dead, Day of the Dead,
Yeah.
Savini worked on Dawn, but obviously those guys are kind of all part of the same group.
I mean, I could name Tom Savini stuff after the Dead movies and after
okay, just throw one out there then.
Friday the 13th. He did The Prowler.
See, The Prowler's not something I don't know what The Prowler is.
He did The Burning.
I don't know what The Burning is.
Yeah, but you're not a true horror nerd like I am.
I'm absolutely not. But do you see what I'm saying? That
I'm not a fucking horror nerd. I haven't seen either one of those movies.
That they probably have done a lot of stuff. It's just that it's not stuff that is really iconic, because usually in the beginning of your career, you do that one thing that's here's what got us big.
Yeah.
And then after that, you're just doing work sometimes.
Okay, here's my last point on the Critters evaluating it as a franchise thing, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm wearing a shirt that you probably hate right now.
Yeah.
And this company makes other button-downs, and occasionally we'll do ones that are not just random things, but based on franchises and stuff. They did make a Critters shirt. It was fucking awesome. It was a Hawaiian print style shirt with plants and flowers, and the critters were hiding. You had to look close to see if they're the Red Isaac.
That?
No.
I feel you showed this to me.
Well, so here's my thing. I saw that shirt and I went, I know what Critters is, and I really like that monster design, and I really like this shirt, but I would feel like an asshole for buying this shirt and wearing it without having fucking seen any Critters movies.
Right.
And then immediately after watching Critters movies, now I can buy it. Of course, it's sold out.
Or overpriced now or something.
I couldn't even find anybody selling them secondhand or whatever.
Hey, come on, black market. What are you doing?
I'm just saying that if it's at least enough for somebody to make a cool, not some shitty T-shirt, a nice print T-shirt, a nice print button down. So it's there.
Again, the Critters themselves, the movie is not so much, maybe. Makes sense.
For people, you mean? People just kind of remember the monster and like the monster, but they don't really think too much about the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I mean, part also what we were talking about when people in the beginning of their career doing the big thing that's kind of rocketing into success. There's a lot of people who worked on Critters that ended up winning Oscars for Titanic.
Right.
Like people, like I don't mean like, oh, one of the actors, like, well, we have a Titanic actor in the third movie and a Titanic actor in the first movie, Billy Zane.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, obviously, Billy Zane's not going to win.
I thought you were going to say Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight actor. That was where my brain went immediately when I saw
Because I don't think Billy Zane's winning any Oscars. Like director of photography, set design, costumes. Yeah. Those people went on to win an award. So like we talk about Kyoto or K&B, you always remember their big stuff in the beginning that got them to where then they became a full-on company that could then start doing movies all the time. Critters had a lot of talent in that movie that went on to become Academy Award winners.
Yeah,
so,
this series is riddled with like horror community stuff.
Would The Revenant ever exist without Critters 3? Is that
because of Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. If he had never got a start into the film with Critters 3.
It's so funny. Well, I guess we'll wait till we get there.
Okay, so
I want to start talking about Leonardo DiCaprio's performance in Critters 3.
So let's start with Critters 1. Critters, 1986. Stephen Herrick.
Power of the Night.
Who, we talk about moving on. This guy directed Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
I didn't know that.
The Mighty Ducks.
I didn't know that.
Mr. Holland's Opus.
Holy shit. I didn't see Mr. Holland's Opus, but I remember that movie.
The guy became very famous.
Good
and
for him.
Actually made... I wrote in plenty more, and I forgot what some of them were, but no, I mean, like, dude did Critters, and then now went on to become...
My brain is...
an A-list... A-list?
But I know what I mean. Those are Hollywood movies.
Not Spielberg A-list, but A-list is in like, he's making films that have budgets in the tens of millions of dollars. They're in theaters. They're successful.
My brain is scanning all over the first Critters movie to find like some kind of inspiration for the knuckle puck, like just something there. Power of the Night. So, Power of the Night. I'll just start with my notes. So the movie starts off with
what we always do, I mean, we're 15 minutes in almost. What we always do is we do recount the plot because we're going to assume that you guys have not watched these movies. Some of you have. Some of you might have watched the first one. And I go, I'm curious about the other three. What happens, whatever, this and that. So we will talk about what happens in the movie, also our reactions to them, and also some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. So
okay, go ahead, recount the plot.
With that said, what is the plot of Critters? Krites, as they are, I guess, scientifically called, are in a space prison.
Scientific.
Well, I mean, they call them Krites.
Yeah.
We call them Critters, but their name...
What if that's just like a really like derogatory term?
That's like the N-word.
It's actually like they're really racist.
It's like the N-word for Critters.
There are a race of aliens that are intelligent. Like they just came up with a name for them. Like,
and they do curse.
Yeah.
And they are kind of assholes.
All right, anyway, sorry.
So
Krites, yeah.
They're in so 1986, they're in a space prison, and they somehow
a maximum security space asteroid prison.
Asteroid. I was gonna say it's not even like a planet. They hijack a ship with their little tiny hands. I don't know how, and they zoom off and go to Earth.
Yeah.
And then the bounty hunters.
They could have gone anywhere because they say, they've got enough fuel to go across the entire galaxy and back.
Yeah.
But they're going to go to Earth because they got food there.
Yeah. And this isn't this isn't the future. This is 1986.
Right.
It's just...
And this is what really, beyond the creature design, which I think is creature design is chef's kiss. I love the creature design. But the other thing that really sets Critters apart from Gremlins and like any other movie that maybe would be accused of ripping off Gremlins is this sci-fi stuff. And I would say before you discount, not you, but editorial you discount Critters, opinion number 4, white middle-aged white podcast male opinion number 4, Lilo and Stitch would not exist without Critters. And I
don't know what that statement.
That's a Disney movie.
I know what Lilo and Stitch is.
Have you seen it?
I don't know, but I know what Lilo and Stitch is, and I think I've seen. There's also a TV show of Lilo and Stitch, and I probably watched bits of that.
Can you picture the blue monster guy? Okay, so here's what I remember about the plot for Lilo and Stitch.
He likes to eat stuff.
Huh?
He likes to eat things, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's essentially a Krite.
He sounds like one, yeah.
But not even just that. The movie is literally...
Can we just move past the idea that Lilo and Stitch came from Critters?
No.
I'm going to discount it and move on.
This is like my ultimate... This is like all my notes. Like a whole fucking essay, man. Lilo and Stitch.
You're like, I didn't talk about
just trust me.
The only thing I took notes on was Lilo and Stitch.
Just give me 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Lilo and Stitch is about a creature designed in a lab that is the ultimate mischievous being that all it wants to do is eat things and blow things up. And when it escapes from its science fiction prison. Bounty hunters have to follow it to Earth to recapture it. The only difference is that it's a Disney movie, and so he learns to love and to become part of a family, and, it's a Disney movie. So that's it.
I say it's more the prequel to Moana. Moana.
I am including Moana and Lilo and Stitch into the Critters extended universe.
Or they're like in the same universe, yeah.
So anyway, the sci-fi angle of Critters, I think, makes it really unique, and that's the bounty hunter. This is also what to me makes it like what a perfect movie to remake, in my opinion.
Well, lucky you.
Well, that's not a remake. That looks like Critters 4.5.
Yeah, so we decided, it's like beginning of March. We were recording this podcast. We watched the movies in February. And then literally a couple days before we record this, the announcement comes that there's a new Critters TV show.
And it looks amazing.
In a bad way.
I'm going to watch it.
I mean, I'm going to watch. Well, no.
It doesn't look any worse than...
It's on Sci-Fi, I think.
3 or 4.
Whatever. It doesn't
There's a critter ball in it. I'm there.
Yeah. So, bounty hunters get dispatched to Earth.
Yes.
To hunt the critters.
Yes.
They don't have faces.
They are shapeshifters.
So, yeah, sort of.
How are they sort of shapeshifters? They're shapeshifters.
They're not like the T-1000 from Terminator 2. It's not like he's going to turn himself into it.
Well, they can create staples, giant staples in their stomachs.
They can.
So
I don't think they're going to turn themselves into like a male. In that case, they can't make their fingers into swords.
I'm just saying if they can make a staple... If they can make a giant staple, that means that probably they could turn their hands into knives.
If they saw Freddy Krueger, for example, and they turned into that.
That's right, and they would create the Freddy Krueger
They would
glove.
have knife hands.
Okay,
yes.
Anyway, we won't call them shapeshifters. We'll call them what?
I don't know, morphers?
Fine, they're transmorphers.
I mean, I wrote in my notes the word shapeshifter, but I said semi-shapeshifting.
Do we have to refer to them as they? What's their preferred pronoun? Okay, that was a bad joke. All right, go ahead. Bounty hunters.
Yeah, so they have glowing green faces, and then they can look at people and turn into those people.
Yes.
So that's who's hunting the Krites. They learn about Earth by watching a rock music video to the song Power of the Night by Johnny Steele.
Yeah.
And one of them says, fuck yeah, that guy's dope. I'm going to be him. And, you know what, to be honest, Terrence Mann, I think is his name.
The actor.
The actor?
Yeah.
Dude's like a Broadway success.
Oh, yeah.
Like, again, Critters.
Yeah, good on him for doing it, though.
Critters was not like a bunch of, nobodies, but again, the people who worked on this movie have skill.
Did you...
It almost was a Roger Corman movie, but it wasn't.
Critters was?
Yeah. It was almost going to be produced by Roger Corman. That would have been the cheap, garbage, no name.
There's good Roger Corman movies.
Yeah, but it's also, he's known...
For doing stuff on a budget. But
yes. So, anyways.
Disparage Piranha.
Troma has a history of lots of movies.
Troma is a little bit different.
But the idea there being that you can find something that's like, oh, this looks like a film.
There's a lot of very famous filmmakers that got their start with Roger Corman. Not so many with Troma.
With Lloyd Kaufman.
We got James Gunn and that and a few others maybe.
We looked at like the like what's a Troma movie, right? Toxic Avenger. And you pop it in, and you're like, oh, this is an actual film. Right. But I'm saying that like what Troma became later, where it's just like, oh, we just hire porn stars in our movies and it's all cheaply done. Old Troma was kind of like old porno. It was shot on film. They tried to be a story there. New porno just became gonzo fucking. New Troma just became porn stars trying to be actresses.
But Critters, this movie, we have
Roger Corman might
actors.
have some good stuff in there, but there's also a lot of Roger Corman movies that are basically the equivalent of gonzo porn.
Yeah.
We have one room to shoot in, so we're going to shoot the whole movie in one room. Like it's bad like that. Anyways, what I'm saying is that Terrence Mann is actually of all the interviews you watch, he's the one who has the most charisma. Mm-hmm. He's interesting. He's happy about what he did. Yet his character is basically silent. So I like that guy a lot, though.
It made me laugh. It must have been the third one or the fourth one. I can't remember, but because he's not really in them. In the third one, he's sort of in the hologram. That's about it. But it was like, hey, they're making another Critters movie. Wait, so what did he say?
They don't. Well, we'll get to that when we get to that movie.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
It's like they don't need you for it.
He's like, oh, but they want to pay you. Oh,
yeah. They want to use your likeness, like Michael Bain. Like I'll take the money. But just the idea that like a lot of actors in these low budget B cheeser 80s movies, like kind of don't go do much, or they do like a bunch of TV shows or a bunch of other horror movies and never really break out. This dude was like a bona fide, like, we got him.
Yeah.
So he was in Cats. I mean, Cats is the biggest Broadway show of all time, so
it's like a joke now,
not saying nothing.
So when he first pops up on screen with the music video, my first note, that's not a note anymore because obviously I kept watching the movie and learning about it, but I was like, is this an actual rock star that is acting in this movie?
I mean,
is this
has the look.
Is this like a serious song, or is this an actor that's pretending to be like a hair band thing?
Right.
Turns out it's the latter. But I still actually have the question, was this song supposed to be like cool back in 1986?
Who said it? Was they were thinking about...
This is a terrible fucking song. It's really bad.
I don't remember who it was, but they mentioned the idea that like if we had a song we could sell, much like a popular mainstream movie would like.
Oh, that's what they wanted to do. Billy Idol.
Yes, that's what I meant. If they could get a Billy Idol
Idol's
song,
going to be a nightmare, but then the screener was like, yeah, but
if we have a Billy Idol song in our movie, that'll help sell the movie. Yeah. I always think about the end of the Addams Family with MC.
Now we get Billy Idol and Hellboy trailers.
Yeah. No, the end of the Addams Family credits when I think it's Digital Underground. It's the Humpty. It's your chance to your dance to the hump.
Are you talking about the MC Hammer thing? What are you talking about right now?
Do you know who Digital Underground was? Digital Underground has, I can't think of his name, but it's the guy who used to wear the...
Sounds like a video game review site.
The guy who wears the glasses with the big fake nose on him. Humpty.
Okay.
And he had a song.
He did the Humpty Hump.
Yes. Did you ever see the Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd movie where Dan Aykroyd's an old crazy guy and he's like a judge and a sheriff and he lives on a property with a bunch of trash? I think it's called Nothing But Trouble. Chevy Chase and Demi Moore are traveling through somewhere. They get caught up in... There's like a hick town, right? And Dan Aykroyd's this old man who owns like this big property. It's literally a junkyard, and he has like a mansion there.
This is the Dan Aykroyd podcast. Oh, except you've already cut out the part where we talked
about Dan Aykroyd earlier. Regardless, this movie is weird. It's good. At one point in the movie, Humpty shows up and he sings a song for Dan Aykroyd. I don't know why I brought this movie up, but other than I guess Humpty's in that movie.
As long as one person listening to this looks that up on YouTube.
And there's only a DVD of it. It sucks because it's actually pretty... I like that movie a lot.
But now help me not be crazy.
This movie has Dan Aykroyd in a fat suit wearing a diaper and another actor in a fat suit wearing a diaper, and they're big babies. And their faces are even fake. Like, it's not like, like Mike Myers is the fat bastard. Like, we added a fat... No, like, the face is a full prosthetic, the body is a full prosthetic, and it's a giant baby in a diaper. It's a weird fucking movie.
The 90s were an interesting time. I'm assuming that was the 90s.
Humpty was in the movie. I think that's why I brought it up. I forgot where I was going with that.
Did MC Hammer make an Addams Family song? That's what I would like to know.
He did, didn't he?
And there was a music video.
Am I thinking of...
And the Addams Family.
Yeah, but that sounds like Humpty. I'm more worried now that I'm confusing Digital Underground, but didn't MC Hammer start with Digital Underground? You know who else started with Digital Underground? Tupac. Tupac was in Digital Underground, and then he became Tupac.
Critters?
It's your chance. Do the dance. Do the hump.
Wait, which hump?
The hump.
Oh, but there's so many kinds of humps. Are you talking about the Humpty Hump?
I'm talking about the Humpty Hump.
Okay. I want to backtrack a little bit to the...
Are you talking about Lilo and Stitch again?
No. I liked that in the very beginning of the movie when they actually show the space prison and there's the subtitle letting you know this is a space prison. This is maximum security. And then it makes an actual sound effect of jail bars closing, like thunk.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was a nice way of kind of letting you know that this movie is going to have its tongue firmly in its cheek. This is going to be, maybe little parts that would be scary, but this is not like a super serious horror movie. This is kind of a funny horror comedy sci-fi thing. The title, the Critters title logo is a very clear homage to... Really, you didn't pick up on that one, huh?
Alien?
The Thing.
Oh, yeah.
It has the same exact, like, burning.
So I'm reading the Wikipedia on Digital Underground right now.
I'll keep walking. Keep talking.
You're going to keep walking.
It's impressive. But I walk, actually, the entire time we're doing this podcast.
The group appeared in and donated music to the 1991 Dan Aykroyd film, Nothing But Trouble.
There you go.
It's in the beginning of the Wikipedia.
We should welcome to our new podcast, where every episode, all we do is talk about Nothing But Trouble.
I mean, if you want to watch it and talk about it, I'm all down for that.
You know that podcast where they just
Welcome to Films in the Bucket, everybody. I forgot the name of this podcast.
What's the name of that? What's the name of the movie, the Adam Sandler movie, where it's one of the fucking ones that has like Chris Rock and Dave
Grown-Ups?
Yes. And I think there's a podcast where all they do
I know. We've talked about that before.
Oh, okay.
They watched it every week for a year and keep talking and do a podcast every time.
Okay, you want to get back to your... do you want me to pick up the summarizing where you left off?
Keep talking. I'm looking for the Addams Family song.
All right, so the bounty hunters are on the way to Earth to get the Krites. And I say Krite because to me it just sounds like crate, but like an Australian saying it, so Krite. And you get all this sci-fi stuff, these bounty hunters, some fun like alien designs and things. And then you get the stark contrast, total opposite, hayseed Americana for like a while before you get back to any kind of like sci-fi stuff or creature stuff.
Is American Gothic the painting of the guy holding the pitchfork?
I think so.
Okay, they did a Critters poster in American Gothic style.
Like for this movie?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Like they had the dad holding a pitchfork and there was a critter on it.
I saw
something like...
I saw in one of the documentaries... Excuse me.
Oh. I thought you were trying to apologize for something, like actually like you made a mistake.
Oh, I'm allergic to clever poster art. So I saw somewhere in the documentary the actors in that pose, but I just thought they were doing it for funsies or something, or like maybe a promotional picture for horror magazines or something.
Promotional stuff,
I didn't know that it was actually like a poster. That's
cool. I
cool.
assume it's a poster. Why else would they take a picture like that? Oh, yes, probably promotional material, probably also a poster.
So one of the people in that poster is Dee Wallace. Who is kind of when I said earlier there's a lot of like horror community stuff in this franchise. Dee Wallace is one of those things. She's considered, like not a scream queen, but she's definitely been in her fair share of horror movies. She was in this, she was in Cujo, she was in The Howling, she's been in lots of other stuff too. Yes, what do you want to say?
I might be
you're giving me those I want to say something eyes.
It's not MC Hammer.
You're still stuck on the...
It's not Digital Underground.
Wait, MC Hammer did not do the Addams Family music video song?
I can't find... Okay, sorry.
I'm pretty sure that's...
This is going to become a thing that's very important to us, but I think Tag Team...
Welcome to...
no, sorry. There was a version of Whoop There It Is done for the Addams Family movie by Tag Team. That's what I'm confusing something with.
Welcome to our third podcast, which is exclusively about hip-hop tie-in songs to motion pictures, which I'm sure there's enough of those for us to do a podcast, right? Eminem just did a fucking Venom song, so there's probably enough to do that. Okay, so Dee Wallace, I forget the dad's name, and the kid.
You mean the actor or
the actor's name?
Billy Bob Bush or something like that?
Yeah, Billy Bob Bush.
Billy Bush Ray.
BBB. Triple B, that's what they call him.
Billy Ray Bush.
Scott Grimes, little redhead kid, and the only reason I know his name is because I recognize him. He's been in a lot of stuff.
The character from The Simpsons? Grimes? Grimy.
What is happening right now?
Did you know the character?
Is that another rapper?
There's a Simpsons episode with a guy named Grimes, and he like has the worst luck in the world.
Oh, is this the guy that's like, oh, gee, Grimes?
And then Homer just walks in and gets
I really missed the brass ring on that one.
Yeah.
That was a horrible impersonation. No, Scott Grimes was in Band of Brothers. That's it. And I just kind of recently watched that. So I'm like, he's still a redhead that looks exactly the same. And I don't think anybody else really. So there's the sister, but she wasn't really anything much after this.
Maybe his name is Lil Humpty.
Scott Grimes?
No, that's not it. That's wrong. Never mind. Okay, all right. Well, we go through here. We got Chop Master J, DJ New Styles, Cletus, Mac, Two Fly Eli, DJ Fuse, Jeremy Jackson, Rand. Okay, there's a bunch of other names. Tupac, Young Mass, Kenny K, Trace Ellington. Didn't MC Hammer do an Addams Family song?
Yes.
God damn it.
The Addams Family.
Right, but it.
They da Addams Family.
Keep talking.
No,
not that. No, I mean, go back to Critters.
Okay. Right. So, Americana. A whole bunch of character development.
It's called the Addams Groove.
Oh, that's why we couldn't find it.
Theme song to the first Addams Family movie, not the second one.
I thought it was the second one.
I thought it was too. I'm having a hard time here.
Do you want to watch the Addams Family movies?
There's only two of them.
Yeah, that'll be a short one.
Holy shit! Too Legit to Quit was on the Addams Family soundtrack. That's an MC Hammer song.
That is an MC Hammer.
Anyways, okay, Critters. I don't know where we are anymore. What's going on?
I'm trying to talk about how it's introducing the movie's introducing the family and spends a very substantial amount of time making the audience get to know those characters, and I appreciated that.
Okay.
That's it, because there's not a kill or anything for like a while.
The dad's an asshole.
No.
Oh, come on.
He's just a dad. Why?
Because he's an asshole. That's why.
Because he sent his kid to bed with no dinner. That's child abuse now.
He's just like... Oh, I don't know. He was doing something in the basement. He was just acting like a jerk.
What did he do in the basement?
I don't know. I literally have I wrote a note that says dad's an old school asshole.
He's definitely old fashioned.
Right. But I think it's just like, you don't play with that. I don't know. He's just a dick.
Okay. Fair enough.
Charlie. Charlie is the town.
Right. And then we have the...
Charlie is the town drunk who hears alien transmissions in his fillings in his teeth. So you're like, wow, okay, he's the crazy guy.
Yes.
And he becomes the main character of the entire series.
Kind of. Yeah.
I mean,
he's the main character.
He's literally the only thread that...
He's actually not even in the third one that much.
Right.
Right. Sorry.
Anyways, keep talking.
So we get introduced to the family. They live on a farm. It's very farmy. And then we got a small town. And in the town, we have a sheriff. And we have, like you said, the town drunk. And we get introduced to a couple of the other police officers. And that's kind of it.
Also, it's not foreshadowing.
I forgot the name of the town.
Exposition at Grover's Bend.
Grover's Bend.
Kansas.
Which is not a real town. They built this whole thing, right? Okay. Maybe I'm thinking of the second one.
Maybe the name's fake, but it was an actual place they had to... Or I think it's real. Okay. I don't know. Yes, they had to build a town for the second movie. Like, right, they built that, but I'm pretty sure that was like a real place they shot in. More exposition on the bounty hunters. The captain boss of the space prison that sends them on the job to get the Krites back is like, use a little... what is it? Not discretion. Damn it, I don't know the word. Basically... No, not so much collateral damage this time.
Oh yeah, he says like, don't blow everything up this time.
Right, which lets you go, oh, these guys don't give a shit about anything. They're there to get the critters.
Yeah.
And they don't really care. And then you see that later on.
Cannons.
When they go into places and they're just like, I'm just going to blow everything up. I don't give a fuck about humans.
Yeah.
We're not here to protect you. Yeah. We're here to kill critters and that's it.
Yeah.
And if you're in the way, we're going to shoot you too.
So the main guy is Ugg. I forget the name of the other guy.
No, you didn't. Shut up.
I did.
Are you trying to make a joke here?
No, I'm not. What's the name of the other bounty hunter?
Lee.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Lee and Ugg. Correct?
Are you trying to bug me right now?
No.
Ugly.
Oh, no, I seriously didn't get that.
Wow. Because you're like, oh, Lee and Ugg. I'm like, are you doing this on purpose? Are you?
I just thought it was like, that's why I couldn't remember, because I'm like, Ugg, and so the other one would be like Nag.
Well, the thing is, they don't actually say his name in the first movie. I only knew, at least I don't think so, I only know because I was looking at like when you play it on Kodi or XBMC, I have an app on my phone that lets me also like, it shows me all the actors and stuff. It's kind of like X-Ray for Amazon. It just shows you the actors and their names. And I went, Ugg. I'm like, who the fuck is Ugg? Like, oh, it's that guy. Because they don't say his name.
And that's where they got the name for the very popular footwear.
Oh, yeah. It came from Critters.
Yeah. This is another. So we get Lilo and Stitch and
But they didn't want to get sued by the production company from Critters, so they made it UGG. Ugg.
Oh, is it not UGG in the movie?
No, Uggs are UGGS or UGGZ or whatever it is.
Oh, okay.
If they had done UG, the Critters would have sued them.
The actual Critters would have sued them.
Yes. His podcast, man.
This is the best one ever. Okay. Are you done looking at fucking rap shit?
I'm not even looking at that anymore. I'm trying to hear the bird that's whistling outside this fucking door.
Even better.
I'm contemplating
Birds
getting up.
don't whistle. They don't whistle.
I'm contemplating getting up right now, going to get my airsoft rifle, and then going to the backyard in the dark, find out where that fucking mockingbird is, and shooting it.
If you go do that, I might make more progress with the podcast by myself.
This is how it goes, folks. We talk about the first movie for way too long, and in the second, third, and fourth movie, we just like, fuck it, I don't know, hurry up. But which is literally how the movies treat it, too. They care in the first one, and then they just give up.
Incorrect.
I'm talking about like every horror franchise afterwards.
Oh, you mean just in general? I think,
yes.
I think Critters 2 is the best of the bunch.
Is that what it should have been called? Critters 2, Best of the Bunch?
Critters 2, this time there's a Critters ball.
Or Critters 2, the new bunch.
The new Gremlins 2 is the new batch, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's why. Actually, I think it's the new name. The new Critter show is called Critters, like Last Batch or like something like that.
I feel like all of the subtitles in the Critters movie are not very good. So some other actors in this movie. Emmett Walsh is great. Plays the sheriff. He's always wonderful.
Man, we really missed the boat on being able to get our Critters podcast out before the new Critters news. There's like an AV Club article from like today saying we seem to be living through a Critters renaissance. Now everyone's going to do a Critters podcast after this.
You know, just stop.
Anyways, it's called Critters: A New Binge.
Because like it's streaming, right? Yeah.
Oh, it's on Shudder. Yeah, so I don't know how I'm going to watch this. You will.
Just
Anyways, keep talking about Critters. There's We watch a rock video, Power of the Night. He transforms to Johnny Steele, shapeshift, whatever. Charlie helps out on the farm with the dad, whatever. Billy Zane's a cool guy with a boyfriend, and he has a cool car and a ponytail, whatever. Brad, which is Scott Grimes, which is the main character, the redheaded kid, he covers for Charlie shooting his slingshot into his sister's butt. Brad plays firecrackers, and he builds a big one. Foreshadowing.
Which I thought was...
I'm just reading my notes. Okay. Are we supposed to talk about this stuff? Or?
I mean, I can just let you.
Oh, I'm letting them know what happens in the movie.
Are you trying to get through it first and then we go back and talk about it?
I don't know. Is there anything you want to say?
We have no plan. Well, you're skipping past things that I have notes about.
Yeah, what? Well,
you didn't like my Lilo and Stitch comment, so maybe I don't have anything else worth to saying.
Every note you have there is
just... I was trying to talk about Emmett Walsh. You wouldn't even fucking let me talk about Emmett Walsh.
Fuck him. I don't care about him.
Other people do. He's a great actor.
Everyone says he's an asshole.
They did. But that...
I like how you're like, that's correct.
That's correct. But it was still funny when he was like, what's happening? And she starts talking about people dating, and he's like, what's happening here, Sal? And I thought it was funny.
He would have been good on the Thing.
Yes, he would have. Speaking of Sal, that's Lin Shaye.
Sorry, speaking of John Carpenter and the Thing, my kid really likes Big Trouble in Little China.
Well, he should.
Yeah.
Good, you raised him right.
Also, if you want to watch a movie called Lone Wolf and Cub,
I've already seen.
I'm pretty sure one of those. You'll notice there's a very similar set of characters in one of those movies to Big Trouble in Little China, a.k.a. guys with straw hats.
I'm pretty sure that's just a thing that actually existed in history.
It's just funny because you look at that and you're like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, John Carpenter's been watching this movie too. I'm not saying that the Lone Wolf Cub movie.
Shut up, because Lin Shaye.
The joke there that's a Japanese movie. John Carpenter likes to make martial arts Chinese movies. Those characters are in Japanese culture.
It's been a while since I've seen Big Trouble in Little China, but
Big Trouble in Little China is a Chinese movie.
I read about Big Trouble in Little China, there was somebody trying to convince me that John Carpenter was making a movie about like a parody of American movies that try to co-opt Asian culture.
I don't know about that. I just know that those characters are Japanese in nature.
Yes.
Those are Chinese movie. Yes. Not a Chinese movie, it's an American movie, Chinese whatever.
Yes. Japanese people do kung fu and Chinese people do karate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
I mean, I could look it up
from Thailand,
but I don't. I have too many tabs open with like old rap and movie credit stuff. I can't get any more tabs.
Taekwondo is from Thailand. That's why it's
called
Taekwondo.
Yeah. And then when you want to do like the Muay Thai, that's actually from Mexico. It's Muay Thai. It's very Thai.
It's very Thai. Jesus, that was stupid. Okay.
What are we talking about, Critters?
I just really wanted to say that Lin Shaye is like the star of the Insidious movies now. So this is like another big horror thing.
Does anybody like listening to us talk about this shit?
Somebody does. We have a couple thousand fucking somethings, and not everybody. They definitely let us know when they don't.
I mean, maybe everyone want to hear us talk about Critters, not...
Well, you know how everybody puts like hey, actual conversation starts at this tags on our podcast?
Yeah.
I feel like this one we got right into it.
And then got sidetracked.
Saying if you say, like, well, they really start talking about it after 6 minutes, fuck you. No, we didn't. We've been talking about Critters this entire time.
What we did is we subverted your expectations. We talked about Critters, then we went on
talked about Adam's family.
The Adam Sandler family, would you say?
Okay. Yes, the kid making the firecrackers. I thought that was a scene that you probably couldn't make today.
Really?
I think just any scene where there's kid making bombs in his room is just probably like, let's not do that. What else?
But it was a very obvious foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, that's going to come into play later.
Of course, like, shit's going to get blown up with firecrackers.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to put it in a piece of poop.
The daughter is very frisky.
She's horny as hell. Horny as hell.
So I watched the first one with my wife, and she was like, that's kind of different. It's refreshing to see that it's the daughter's the horny teenager that's trying to get laid. But
it's awkward because he doesn't want to.
I think he just doesn't know what to do.
Oh, he's like your dad.
He seems to be enjoying himself later.
Let's go when he's dead?
No, like when they're making out in the barn, when they're literally having a roll in the hay.
Kind of. He's still scared, but like she's like, "Oh, let's leave. We're gonna go do this thing," and whatever. Dad's like, "Okay, bye." She drives his car about 20 feet from the front door of their house and just parks to the side of the barn, which is right in front of their house, and then proceeds to try to go fuck in the barn.
No, she explained it. She said that they never come out here.
Right. They never see the car that's just sitting right.
See, I was paying attention.
Oh, I heard her say that, but it was dumb.
They're old farmers. They're in bed by 7 o'clock.
Yeah, her dad never goes to the barn. His life's work is a farmer. He never goes to the barn.
Not after 7 o'clock.
That's the rule.
Yeah.
He never.
He doesn't have an alarm clock. He still just gets up whenever the rooster crows.
When the critter crows.
He literally wears fucking
again American Gothic.
Yeah. There are Star Wars style wipes in this movie. I thought that was kind of fun.
That's great. Charlie helps out on the farm with Brad's dad.
Yes.
That's how Brad and Charlie become buddy friends.
But if he wants to keep that job, he better stop screwing around.
Yeah, totally.
Which is why it was really important for Brad to take the heat on the
slingshot
situation.
Yeah.
Yes. Because he gets grounded and sent to his room with no food, which is child abuse.
Spaceship lands, which would be the critters, actually, right? No.
The critters land first. Because the bounty hunters follow him there.
Yeah, all the bounty hunter stuff we've seen at this point is really just them in their spaceship. They haven't.
Yeah,
even though he's Johnny's
video, and
they watched the video when they were in the spaceship, so they weren't on. Okay, yeah. Critters land, cause earthquake, house shakes. Dad goes outside with the flashlight, finds Brad in a tree, and he goes, "The fucking earthquake just threw me out of my window. I just landed in this tree."
Yeah.
Obviously,
you don't fool me, boy. Get back in your room.
Yeah. And the movie started off with Brad trying to fake a temperature, a fever.
Just like in E.T.
Oh, really? I don't fucking care about E.T. I don't watch it. Obviously, this kid is into mischief. He says shit a lot. Like, he's kind of constantly cursing. So we know this kid is definitely one of the edgier kids.
Oh, yeah. He only makes bombs.
Yeah.
He has the anarchist cookbook in his room. You didn't see that?
No, I didn't.
I'm just kidding. You know.
Oh, I was going to say, it didn't exist back then, did it?
Probably didn't exist back then.
Didn't exist till the internet happened, I think.
Yeah.
I don't correct us. So, yeah, there's like an earthquake of sorts. The spaceship lands. And then critters are talking, they're looking for food, and they eat a cow.
Yes.
And then Brad and the dad find them eating the cow. Or they find the cow who's been eaten.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go, I'm going to go get my gun because something helped them out here. And then,
I guess he is sort of like way more hickish than the rest of the family.
Drives the truck like that,
Do you think that like that's like his farm that's been in his family forever? And
yeah,
then, like,
absolutely.
She's like a city gal and she like gave it all up to live with him on his farm. And
the wife?
Yeah.
I don't know. She definitely has more personality than he does.
Well, I'm sure they'll flush that out in the Critters prequel.
Yeah, Critters Zero.
I wanted Critters prequel, and it's literally there's no critters in it or anything. It's just about
it's before there were critters.
Yeah, it's the story that I just made up in my head about the father meeting the girl in the town. And
I mean, at one point in the second movie, when Brad comes back to the town, they're like, "I don't need no city boy telling me." Yeah, I mean, okay. First of all, it's Kansas, so it's country.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, it's like rural Kansas, so you know what I mean. It's not even like Kansas City.
But in the third one, they're not in Kansas anymore.
Oh my God. Have you been waiting for that one?
What? No, it's just why? Waiting for what? It's a legitimate question.
That's a high five right there. Good job.
I like that I can make. It's funny because like the jokes that I think they're going to be good, you tell me are terrible, and then the jokes that everybody else would tell me are bad, I know that they're going to fly in here.
But I love bad jokes, so
I don't know where that leaves me.
Yeah, I don't know where they go right now. Actually, oh wow.
So they eat a cow. They have a cow, man, and. That was my...
I know, I got it. But
Brad's kind of like Bart Simpson, pre-Bart, right? I don't know when Simpsons started.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm saying that Critters also inspired Bart Simpson. That's what I'm saying. So just for those keeping score, it's Lilo and Stitch, Bart Simpson, and I forgot what my other one was. It was, shit.
I don't know, Tupac Shakur?
No, yeah.
He came
the Addams Family.
So, yeah.
Okay, so the bounty hunters are wandering around town trying to find the Krites. Okay, well then you talk about the movie.
I'm going to talk like Charlie when I make this next point. The deputy is driving somewhere, and he sees the ball roll in the street, and he's like, what the fuck is that, dog or something? And then he gets out of his car to look for a dog. He pulls his billy club out. He's like, come here, boy. Like, looking for he thinks it was a dog that ran across the street that made him swerve. Was he going to beat the shit out of a dog with his club?
Yeah, so Critters is actually a really dark movie. The dad, total child abuser. The cops.
This isn't funny. This isn't funny.
Oh.
You're going for joke here. It's not now.
Oh.
But I'm just like, legitimately, like, he's holding his club up and he's calling for the dog. I'm like, am I supposed to infer that he was going to just beat the shit out of a dog? Like, that doesn't...
You don't think that's funny?
Like, I just think he, like, pulled his gun out and he's like, what was that? But, like, he literally thinks it's a dog and he pulls his club out. Like,
Maybe he just doesn't know what it is and he's just taking it out to protect himself.
When the critters eat him, I'm like, good, fuck that guy.
Okay.
I was like, that actor, I was kind of... He looks familiar. I don't know. He's been he's doing a lot of stuff. I can't really pin down. It turns out he was the judge in Better Call Saul.
He was the cow, the guy. Oh, what?
He was the judge in Better Call Saul, like in the last season. And I was like, yes, that's why I totally remember seeing his face recently.
Well, I got to catch up on that show.
Yeah, you do.
Dead air.
Well, no, it's not, because when I cut it all out, it all just gets shrunk and all the dead air just goes away. So, interesting.
Is it?
This movie came out in 1986, but in your mind, this movie time traveled back because this has a first-person view for the alien. Oh, no, there's no first-person view in the first Alien movie, is there? It's only in, like, the third movie. So David Fincher watched Critters and decided the first-person view for the xenomorph that came from Critters.
Why isn't your brain going straight to, like, Halloween? Or is it because specifically it's an alien
That's
with
a person. What does it matter if there's a person-person view of a person? This is first-person view of the creature.
Oh. In that case, Evil Dead did it.
But that's like an entity that you don't even see.
So okay, I just want to be clear.
Critters
You're handing out awards for very specific uses of POV shots, depending on whose POV it actually is.
I'm sure that's an ET though, right?
So if I put a camera on my shoe and kick you in the balls, it's the POV of my shoe. That'll be the first time anybody did that. Has anybody ever done that? Because that kind of seems like that's something
I've seen I've seen a camera like zoom into a crotch, and you're supposed to assume it's like a baseball.
Oh, okay.
But
nobody's foot yet. So when I do that, that'll be unique.
Well, let's go film that. I'll put a camera on my shoe and kick you in the balls.
That's not what I said.
Well, I'm the cameraman. I mean, are you going to film it?
You can give.
You don't
me
know how to
camera.
do that.
You can.
Do you know how to work it?
Well, I'm the actor.
Yeah, you have to act like you got kicked in the balls. I'm not kicking you in the balls.
Okay. The bounty hunters go wandering around trying to find things?
No.
Okay. Well, then keep going.
The first-person view of the critters around the house. And it's going, and it's like looking around for stuff, and then
ends up in the basement.
No, this feels like actually the second one has this too, but it almost feels like a scene in the Gremlins. There's a scene in the Gremlins where the mom is in the kitchen.
Yeah, she takes everybody out with her gadget, with all her kitchen shit.
But when the gremlin actually shows up, she puts them in the blender and shit. Yeah, this is one in the second one. I'm kind of, but not really. Basically, the mom's washing dishes in the house.
Oh, and she sees it in the window.
She sees the glowing eyes in the window, and it was fucking cool as shit.
Yeah. I forgot they said how they got that effect, but I already forgot.
Yeah, it's like
because it's not like LEDs or anything.
It's like a stop sign. It's a rear. Yeah. It's a projection reflection.
Like a reflective material.
Yeah, it's whatever. Let the Kyotos tell you. It's more complicated than that. The cat is named Chewie.
After the candy bar.
Well, no, actually, the cat was named Chewie. So when they made Star Wars, they named him Chewbacca.
Okay, again,
because they had watched Critters in the future.
Yes,
and then went back and made Star Wars.
And did you know
Chewie.
that Back to the Future predicted 9/11?
Oh, okay, I don't know where.
I'm not actually being that random. You can go on YouTube and there's like a whole conspiracy theory around that.
Okay.
That was actually pretty compelling.
So it did, huh? Is that like those YouTube videos where it's like time traveler caught on video?
Yeah.
Back in the 30s.
Look, he's got a cell phone in this old picture. He's not scratching his ear. Okay,
so now the bounty hunters are walking around. They find the dead cop.
They go bowling.
Turns into the dead cop with blood and cuts and everything on his face included. Steals cop car. Don't know how to they blow the shotgun.
Oh yeah, they drive around in reverse. I thought that was fun.
I think it's funny because he doesn't know what the shotgun is. Like he has a gun. Yeah. It's a big telescoping gun, plasma cannon.
He couldn't recognize another gun.
Right. So he's like, "What is this thing?" And he pulls the trigger and blows a hole in the roof of the cop car with the shotgun.
And they drive in reverse because they just think that's the way you do it.
He breaks off the switcher, but then somehow like wires the car to keep going or something. I don't remember. Now
the moment
Billy Zane finally gets eaten.
By
the thing we've been waiting
daughter.
Oh, that's a different movie.
What happened?
That's the Gonzo porno I was talking about.
Okay. Yeah. He gets his stomach eaten out.
Well,
have you ever had your stomach eaten out?
This sounds like
somebody actually said that. I think in the second one, like it had its stomach eaten out, and it just
no. That sounds like a line from like a Tarantino movie. It's ever had your stomach eaten out there, boy? Like something weird.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I think I'm thinking more of it's completely must not be the right thing, but I'm thinking about Jesse James when he's talking to Robert Ford in the beginning of the movie, and he's like, "Ever seen that woman up in Fayette suck noodles up her nose up in Fayette?" Like the way that like that the enunciation of like there's a pause there. Like, ever get your stomach eaten out?
You ever seen
your stomach eaten out?
You ever seen a grown man naked? You ever seen Airplane?
Oh, not in a long time.
Okay.
Are we talking about Critters still, or are we?
Well, we were talking about Airplane, which was also inspired by Critters.
See, the scene in Jesse James, what he was doing was he was showing Robert Ford that he doesn't actually know that much about him as he thought he did. He thought he was an expert on the James gang.
Yes.
And what he did is he threw a little, boom right there. It's like, you don't know shit about me.
That movie sucks.
Yeah. Fuck you, Warner Brothers. That should have been a goddamn Oscar contender, like, easily. Brad Pitt should have won Best Actor.
Why is that Warner Brothers' fault that they didn't win an Oscar?
Because they didn't campaign for it. They didn't care. They dropped
That's because it's just a ripoff.
But Casey Affleck
Terrence Malick. It's just a Terrence Malick ripoff movie. I'm just kidding. That's
anything by Terrence Malick is just like basically doodle on the screen. So I don't really know. I tried to watch Tree of Life and I made about 5 minutes in and was like, I quit. I can't do it.
I can't believe you watched 5 minutes of Tree of Life. I can't believe you even put that in.
You're like, you made it past 2 minutes. You know what? If I got really high, maybe I'll watch that movie.
I kind of want to get high and watch Tree of Life now. Not all of it, though. Just that first part with the creation.
I don't remember anything.
It's just like the birth of the universe. It's like Fantasia.
So it's basically what David Lynch did in episode 8 of...
It's very episode 8.
Oh my God, Twin Peaks!
I was going to make a t-shirt that just says episode 8 and just like see if there's anybody that's like, Twin Peaks?
Are they like, Star Wars?
Yeah. That kind of makes me want to do it even more, though, because I just want to be like, no, fucking nerd. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, so...
Oops. How many times a podcast can we, like, bump our mics and, like, knock into
I haven't bumped mine. Just you keep bumping yours, you tall, gangly motherfucker.
Yeah, I am. There's a good effect, though, where Billy Zane reaches for the stereo, and he, like, tries to stop the cassette or whatever it is, and the critter bites his fingers.
Which didn't quite work, so they just cut some frames out. But
it worked. The MPAA wanted to rate it.
Oh, that's right. So when you make a horror movie, you have to make it like grosser than normal. Because, well, not in this case, but all right. So like in a lot of the Friday the 13th movies, when we were watching all those,
you go farther, knowing that if you cut some back, you're still going to get what you wanted.
But that's not really what happened in this case. This case, they were talking about how there's a long scene that they shot, and it was really gory. And I don't remember who thought this, but somebody said out loud, like, I don't know why you guys are wasting all your time and this is all going to get cut.
Yeah.
Like, no way this is going to make it in the movie.
I think it was interesting because the way they cut it is what I do to you when you pause or say too much during our videos.
Mm-hmm. I don't do that.
I'll find 2 splice points where you can't really see that there was a cut because you didn't move very much for a couple seconds, or like, there's like a 2-second pause where you were kind of like not statue-esque, but you're close to where you are. So when I cut it, you don't see any physical movement, but I cut out like a or a breath or a click of your tongue. So they literally just took the scene they shot that MPAA said no and just cut a couple of frames out of the sequence. So you're literally seeing a cut in the middle of a scene, but it's so small, so quick, you don't quite notice it.
Right.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Got around the MPAA, and you still see his fingers missing. So.
That's true.
And then he dies.
And he dies.
Just like he did on that boat.
Was it just like he died on that boat?
Yeah.
Wait, how does he die in the boat?
Did you know he doesn't die?
Yeah, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Wait.
He doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
He doesn't.
Billy Zane doesn't die in Titanic.
What is
he? He escapes?
I would say I'd bet you $1 million. You don't have $1 million. I'd bet you a blowjob, but I don't want that from you. Like, what can I bet you? I can. Yes, I'm 1,000.
Are you so sure that the blowjobs that I might be able to give aren't so incredible that you wouldn't want one?
I don't even want to start this conversation.
I'm just saying, this is kind of one of those, like, can God create a mountain that's so big that he himself cannot lift it situations. Okay, so...
I don't...
All I want you to do is remind me what happened to Billy Zane in Titanic.
He makes it onto one of the boats.
And then he kills himself later. He put a gun in his mouth. Now I remember.
No.
Yeah, they say that. They say, I heard in the stock market crash, he put a gun in his mouth.
Yeah, but that's not, like, related to Titanic, though.
But there needed to be some kind of poetic justice and comeuppance for that character. That's why it's important.
Do you know how he gets on the lifeboat? He sees a little kid crying.
He says, like, oh, this is my child.
Yeah, he finds a kid that's crying and he ignores her. And then comes back later, sees it, and goes, ooh, I can use that.
Billy.
You were in Sniper.
And you were in Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight. Which you haven't seen yet still.
No.
Oh, the movie's so fucking good. Okay.
Anyways.
Any Zane's? No, that doesn't. Okay.
And Kate Winslet's character in Titanic sees Billy Zane when they're on the rescue boat, and she covers herself with a shawl to pretend like she's a poor. And that
she's a poor.
And then he won't. And so that he won't recognize her, and he doesn't see her ever again.
Okay.
Why do I know this? Because my 6 and 3-year-old really like the second half of Titanic. Much like Jaws, you don't need to watch the first half. You only got to watch the second half.
But if you don't watch the first half,
see, and do you get it? Do you see why? Jaws and Titanic, boat sinking. That's the fun part.
I don't want to talk about that anymore. You never cut what?
It's not funny. Keep moving.
Go ahead.
Again, your jokes are good when they're word jokes, not when you're trying to make a joke. The chickens are all eaten, but they're not because there's more chickens later. Ooh, Got you, critters.
Better not
movie mistake.
Chickens before they've hatched, because if they've hatched,
don't
then
count your critters' eggs with your chickens.
Critters come out of eggs.
Oh, I had a good Godzilla intro. Not like a whole thing, but like I had a good idea for Godzilla intro.
Oh, why are you talking about Godzilla?
What?
That was random.
Because we're gonna do a Godzilla video.
Oh, we're gonna do a Godzilla video. Okay.
I was like kind of not really gonna say that out loud, but anyway, stop doing your snake move. You look like James. You look like Bill Hader doing an impression of James Carville playing the piano.
No, I look like
if anyone can actually understand the reference I'm making right now, good for you.
I look like Kevin Spacey in the back of the cop car at the end of Seven.
So you're molesting a child?
He doesn't ever molest a child. You are very inaccurate right now.
Oh, in the movie, you mean?
Yes. Oh, good one. I forgot about all that.
There's an organ tone playing. Oh, sorry. Okay. This is where the firecracker comes in.
Mm-hmm.
In the barn, after Billy Zane falls off the Titanic and lands in a bale of hay, and a critter eats him. He thought he got away. He got on a boat. And he was like, yes, I got back to America. And what happens is he gets eaten by a fucking critter.
Yes.
So Brad shows up hearing his sister April, I remember her name now, screaming, and he has a little firecracker and he throws it at the critter. Critter goes, hey, this looks like food, eats it, and there's this little comical, like, cheeks blowing up thing. No big, it doesn't explode. There's no blood or anything. It just kind of goes boop. And you think, oh shit, it was ineffective. And then he just keels over. I thought it was good.
Oh, I did too.
It was very good.
I don't think there's a single critters gag in this movie that I'm not, like, kind of, there for.
Yeah. Like, looks good and also is a good idea.
Yeah.
Except for maybe that big one.
I thought that worked pretty good too. For what for the troubles that I had with it,
just like seeing feet go boom, boom, boom across the floor.
I thought it was kind of cool. I mean, it was just smartly edited, I think, and shot around. Could have been bad.
Here comes a church scene. The bounty hunters are driving in reverse and destroy the whole front facade of the church.
Social commentary.
Elaborate.
Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I do have some stuff to say about that in the second movie, though.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, they just destroy that. Like, they just drive and hit the pillar and the whole roof comes crashing down.
The Alpha Rookie hot take, Critters is all just a analogy. It's all just a metaphor for how religion is eating us all like the critters are eating everybody.
You were going somewhere and then it kind of just fell apart. So.
Just like this pot.
That bird's still outside and it's driving me crazy. You hear it?
Yeah, then I talk and then I can't anymore. Yeah, so if we just keep talking, then we won't hear it.
Oh, good. Let's just keep talking. So the church scene, you went...
yeah.
Oh, okay, nothing interesting happens with the church. They show up and then they leave.
Well, they
before blowing some stuff up. The only thing that was great about it was that it does that thing where, like, not like dun dun dun, but like something happens. Or
somebody plays the organ music.
The Lee, the bounty hunter that was...
Yeah.
Who does he look like right now? Oh, he looks like the dead cop.
Mm-hmm.
He changes into the pastor in front of everybody, and the old lady playing the organ... like falls in the organ goes dun.
Yeah.
And then he shoots the organ and it blows the fuck up.
Yeah.
And he shoots other things and it blows the fuck
So
up.
the first time we see the guns in action, which are like just giant penises
that get hard.
Extend.
They get hard before they ejaculate. Yeah,
social commentary.
Totally. No, just commentary.
The guns are fun. They're like attached to their hip and just kind of pivot.
They feel like the smart guns. So what happened was James Cameron watched Critters.
Yeah.
After he made Piranha.
Okay, keeping score. This is like a half dozen things.
The idea of the smart gun came from Critters.
Yes. Oh.
That. Oh. Can you even name the two characters in Aliens that use those guns?
Vasquez.
Vasquez, yes.
And Drake.
Okay. The question is, could you remember his name?
Fuck you. Okay.
It wasn't Wierzbowski.
So the you don't care about this because did you see Guardians of the Galaxy? I don't know.
Oh, fuck Guardians of the Galaxy.
Hey,
fuck Chris Pratt.
Oh, that's okay. That's fine. But Guardians of the Galaxy is awesome. I
can't enjoy Parks and Rec anymore.
Hey, I just wanted to say James Gunn was probably a fan of Critters because the Reavers, whatever the fuck they're called, in Guardians of the Galaxy have very similar costumes to the.
Oh yeah, you sent me that text message and I was like, and
who cares? Fucking nerd, go kill yourself.
Whoa. I haven't said that to you in like 10 years.
Yeah,
probably.
But it's implied in everything that you say.
Social commentary.
Right. So, bowling alley?
Yes.
I mean, like, do you want to just stop the commentary now and go bowling?
I went bowling actually last weekend or like 2 weeks ago.
So the dad's on a bowling team.
I almost got a turkey.
They're the pin busters.
I got 2 strikes in a row and then got 9 on the third one.
We did bowling when we were in San Francisco, and I beat everybody, and it kind of made me want to play you guys again.
Again, I don't remember bowling.
We went bowling together like a couple times.
What was your score? Well, then, did you use bumpers?
No.
I did. I'm bowling with my kids. We put the bumpers up.
Okay.
They didn't touch the bumpers when I get strikes.
Ah.
But there are times I touch the bumpers. Other times, like when I didn't get strikes.
I touched the bumper, but never mind.
That's why I have a bumper sticker that says I didn't touch the bumper. So, yeah, the cars are all eaten up on the inside, and my kid goes, "Why do they want to eat the inside of the car?" I said, "They just eat everything. Yeah. They don't care."
No, they're smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do they know to turn the fucking... Wait, what does he say? Because now I'm thinking of alien stuff.
I can say, why do they turn the power
They're
off?
They're fucking animals, man. How do they know to cut the power?
Yeah, now...
Well, it's a horror siege movie.
It's not... Well, I wrote that down, but it's actually not yet. That happens more, I think, when they go upstairs. Like, because once they're downstairs, they're not, like, boarding up windows and shit. But once they kind of, like...
It's just when the kid tries to, like, I'm going to go get to my bike. And that's not a thing. And so they got to hole up in the house.
Yeah, but it's when they move upstairs, it becomes more like they barricade themselves in a room. Like, they put the dresser up against the window, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they should have named It should have been It should be Chumley. Is that so? Rick from Pawn Stars watched.
Is that what you're gonna start calling me when I do it too much? You're gonna say Umley.
No, so Rick from Pawn Stars watched Critters and then named. Oh wait, Chumley's not his kid. Never mind. You never watched Pawn Stars at all?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, guys, Chumley.
Are they all like all in prison now? What's going on?
I hope so. I don't know.
At least one of them's got to be dead. I think the old man's.
Well, the old man's dead because he's old, not because he's in prison.
Chumley strikes me as somebody that's like probably in tabloids for bad reasons, but also not a big enough of a celebrity for anybody to hear about it.
He just has fake teeth and it's really weird.
I say Pawn Stars all the time because when people bring their comics in and they're like, these are worth $1 million. And I have to go, listen, have you ever seen Pawn Stars? And they go, yeah, okay, now let me explain it to you.
I just Ugly and Chumley.
Gotcha.
So what happened was they couldn't get Scott Grimes, so they hired the kid from Terminator 2 with the red hair and the mullet to be Bud on Salute Your Shorts. And then they realized we have to name the camp counselor Ugly. That's where they got the name from, Critters. Ugly.
Oh.
Anyways.
Nice.
Have you ever seen Salute Your Shorts?
Yeah.
Okay. His name is Lee. They call him Ugly. Where do you think they got the joke from? I mean, no one else in the history...
Yeah, they got it from Critters.
See, when you make a joke...
Oh, I'm all about... Critters... Listen.
When you make a joke, when you write a joke, the way the universe works is that no one else in the entire universe brain can now come up with that joke.
Yes.
So you have originated it.
Correct.
So if you ever hear it anywhere else, you have to go back and say it must have come from that person.
Yes.
So Ugly, Salute Your Shorts, it has to come from Critters.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, that's just logic.
Yeah. I mean, some people, for them it's the Bible. For me, it's Critters.
Critters is your Bible?
Well, it's just everything came from God in the Bible, but that's not actually true. Everything came from Critters.
Social commentary. So, Dad takes more damage after he was already in the basement earlier that we skipped.
Takes some battle damage.
He gets bit in the basement.
Not that much damage, though, because at some point the MPA said, he just gets bit too much.
He got the needle in him. He's getting bit in the cellar, whatever. Oh, so the two. So okay, here comes a scene that I don't remember who did it and what review process they got it in, but basically there's a scene there's two critters on the porch. The family goes back inside finally, and one of them goes, they got weapons, and the other one goes, who gives a shit if they have weapons? And the door just cracks open, and the shock it blows him away.
And he says, fuck?
Yeah, he looks over and goes, and then the subtitle just says, fuck, and he rolls away.
Is this that PG-13 thing where you get allowed one?
I don't know. It's different in the UK. Like in the UK, you can have a couple of fucks.
Dry up.
I mean, nowadays, a single fuck is no, but in the UK, you can have up to 3 fucks in a movie before it becomes 18.
Did you hear them talk about that where they were questioning whether they should do it or not, but then it played fucking gangbusters?
That's what I'm saying. It was a thing someone just did it, and then when they showed it to an audience, they were like, oh, okay.
Or the subtitles is what they were trying to decide whether to do or not.
Yeah.
So I think to do more of that because it's cheap, right? Even if you don't. Even in the third and fourth ones when they don't have much money for gags, how much money is it really for them to just sit side by side and go and then just write whatever you want in the subtitles?
Yeah.
Maybe subtitles are more expensive than we're giving credit for.
I mean, maybe back then when there was no computer to do it, it was just it had to be an optical thing. So Brad volunteers for the bike. We said Critter knocks the bike over.
We're skipping the whole bowling alley scene. I've been trying to talk about bowling alleys for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, I guess I just didn't write that in my notes because it was just I had to have. Maybe we just skipped it because we were so talking about the social commentary.
This is where they got the Terminator 2 scene where he goes into the biker bar.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Goes and fucks with the bikers.
I know where you're going with that, yeah.
Yeah, James Cameron saw Critters.
And since James Cameron can time travel, it doesn't matter what year anything came out.
I really like it when he just picked up the bowling ball and the way that he threw it.
I actually enjoyed when he walked in and the bowling ball came back up from the thing. I don't know what that's called. The thing you don't put your hand in?
The bowling hand dispense. The bowling ball dispenser.
The bowling hand dispenser? When you get your hand ripped off, it just gives you another one. Is that he like kind of just like small little movement, kind of puts his hand on his gun. Like he's going to get ready because the hairball, the critters roll.
Right,
he thought the bowling ball was a critter, and he kind of...
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Subtle.
Yeah.
Because he's a theater actor.
Yeah.
He knows how to use body language.
Is a masterpiece.
And then,
now every
what does he do at the bowling alley that you love so much?
Every movie that thinks about making a joke about being threatened by a bowling ball because they think it's something else that's actually dangerous, they can't do it anymore because they go, they did it in Critters.
What's your favorite thing about the bowling alley that you want to talk about?
But that's where he gets Charlie's face.
What? But that's... Okay, he picks up the bowling ball, and he literally just like kind of hurls it at the pins.
Hurl's not even the word.
Because he didn't try that
hard.
It's
very like... I don't even know how to describe it because it's not an overhand throw. It's not an underhand throw. It's kind of
like a laser.
It's like what you do when...
It's what Iron Man does.
It's like a basketball throw. It's like a basketball shot.
No.
Yeah.
He just goes like this. Like sideways.
Oh, you're right. It's very... What you just did is very similar to like...
Badminton?
No, I was going to say like a shuffleboard. Yeah, ping pong. It's a ping pong action, I guess, yeah.
It's more of a shuffleboard.
Or like air hockey.
Yeah, it's just like one solid motion. Yeah. Go watch the movie.
I miss air hockey.
He breaks up. We have an air hockey table. It's about this big. If you want to play it.
No, I want to play.
I converted it. I cut the wires in and put an AC adapter on it, so I don't have to use eight AA batteries.
I bet you, in addition to Mario Kart and Guitar Hero and Battlefield, I can also beat you at air hockey.
Okay,
that's it.
First of all, you can't beat me at Battlefield. I stopped playing Battlefield.
I was a better Battlefield player than
you were not. Yeah. I taught you how to play Battlefield, and don't say the student become the master.
The student become the master.
I already know where you're going with that. No, I was always better than you.
Yeah. Well, you always were.
And always am.
Always were better than me.
Well, maybe you're better than me
and
now.
Maybe you are now.
I don't play anymore.
Neither do I.
So then I went out on top.
No, but I was better.
Social commentary. The key point here is I'm better than you at everything that I want to be better than you at.
Except for Guitar Hero, Mario Kart, Battlefield, and air hockey.
Battlefield doesn't count. Guitar Hero, yeah, I'll give you that one. The pinky doesn't work. I can't do the pinky.
Yeah, you suck. You're a failure. Such a disappointment. I'm done talking about the bowling alley.
So that's when he becomes Charlie. That's a kind of important thing there.
I guess
actually, this is not because
it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't last anymore. Hey, buddy, you better get out of here.
So.
Would you ever mess with two guys wearing weird ass red leather?
In fucking Kansas, if two guys rolled up and I think it's funny that I don't know. I can't. Maybe it was like this, and I just don't remember. But was there a whole lot of like, I think you boys are lost. Like kind of,
Well, the first guy's like,
you took the wrong turn to West Hollywood. I don't know what you're doing out here.
The first two guys are like, hey, what team are you on? Like, I'd come join our fucking bowling team.
Right. But so it's like now, if you had that scene, it would be like who are these bad words?
Who are the? Oh yeah, I get you're going there. Okay, so. There's a big critter in the barn, so we get to see a shadow of it growing.
Because that's their creative way of dealing with that, because the powers that be producers were like, hey, you know what we need? A big crate.
So they mess up the house, they tear up the pillows, they rip off E.T.'s head. And we talk about that scene.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, they break in.
I had that when I was a kid, that like specific E.T. toy.
We actually have an E.T. doll in our house right now. It's my wife's from when she was a kid. It's like hard.
Is it the same kind?
Do you remember your apartment? There was an E.T. doll that was on top of the TV stand.
Nah, vaguely.
It was next to the Xenomorph.
I was always just looking at the Xenomorph.
Oh. Yeah, there's like a joke in there where the critter sees a stuffed animal E.T.
And they had to shoot two different versions of that. One that's not an E.T. just in case they couldn't get the
rights or whatever.
Go ahead to do that.
I think it's cute because he kind of bumps it with his nose and he's like, who are you?
Yeah.
And he just rips his head off.
Again, it's like, it's a Gremlins ripoff. I mean... But I don't know, they're enjoyable.
Yeah.
I wanted to see more of that. Just see them fucking around and see their little language.
Brad gets to the highway. Cop car comes down the road. Hey, help. Oh, it's the bounty hunters. Help me. Oh,
yeah.
Who are you guys?
Here's the cavalry.
Yeah. Oh, you're Charlie. You're not Charlie. You're Johnny Steele. You can't be what? And then, they show up and blow the fucking house apart.
I like the blowing the one that runs into the toilet after the other one gets lit on fire.
Yeah.
I like that. Flips up, destroys the fuck out of them.
At one point, the bounty hunters show up and they start blowing holes everywhere, and the critter says, "Let's roll." And then they roll.
And it was the best joke ever.
See, it wasn't. They was like, "Let's roll away."
I don't get it.
See, there's a term called "Let's roll."
Yeah, like when you're
it's like let's go somewhere.
Making a movie, and they're like, "Roll," action like that.
Yeah, absolutely. You see what he wanted.
They're in a movie. I get it now. I get it.
All that would happen is they actually accidentally caught the audio of the guy going, roll him! And then they're like, well, we have to make it make sense, so let's just turn that into let's roll. And
see,
then,
when you're making a movie, you have to be creative. You have to be improvise.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite things on I Love Lucy. It was whenever they're like shooting something, there's that just this guy. His only job is to go, quiet on the set, roll him, and that's it. That's all he does. And tells everyone to be quiet and then to roll the cameras.
Yeah.
You get paid like, union wages to stand there and do that one thing. So the toilet.
Yeah, I like the toilet.
Yeah, he was on fire, so he jumped on the toilet.
Yeah.
I remember being a kid and thinking of like getting my ass chewed off when I went to the bathroom after seeing
by
this.
a kite.
Yes, by some kind of like...
But you shouldn't worry about that because it's just their feet that are sticking out that would, it might kick you in the ass.
What?
Because it was going down.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about.
So kites don't breathe. Yes, we had a conversation earlier about xenomorphs and whether they breathe or not. And now I want to know: do kites breathe?
Sure.
Okay, because he held his breath for an awful long fucking time.
Well, he wasn't in. The water is only a couple inches deep in a toilet.
He was fucking stuck in there with his feet.
I don't remember his feet sticking out. I just remember he rolled into a ball.
Pythons go and rats go into plumbing and ducts and stuff.
I don't think rats go in the fucking toilet plumbing.
They do.
A rat cannot go down into the toilet and then come up somewhere else. It'll drown.
I can't wait for all the people in YouTube comments to tell you about this is your new fucking nightmare that rats actually do fucking travel through sewer pipes and things.
Yeah, but not the ones full of water. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have a fun Google.
You fucking Google tonight. Have fun with your fucking. If you're scared about fucking kites being in your toilet, wait till you find out about rats.
There's an anecdote by Jake the Snake.
Antidote? To what?
If it's to a snake bite.
Oh, okay.
By Jake the Snake Roberts about he was going to wrestle it was in Florida, I think, and he's going to wrestle a Japanese wrestler. And the guy was terrified of snakes and was like, fuck you. Don't bring that shit anywhere near me, whatever.
Is this the thing where he sits on it?
And so Jake said, all right, and he put his fucking snake he had to have a dressing room on the other side of the stadium. Uh-huh. The guy would not let him be anywhere near him. He put the snake in his dressing room and then came back later and it was gone. But it was locked. He's like, I don't know where it went. Like, where could it have gone? Japanese wrestler is on the other side of the goddamn stadium, taking a piss, taking a shit, whatever, and the fucking snake comes out of the toilet. And it's like a big-ass python, like boa constrictor style. If you ever remembered wrestling, Jake the Snake had a big-ass snake.
Yeah.
That thing, yes.
I remember there being a thing where, like, one of the big sumo wrestler guys, like, it must have, I hope it's movie magic, because I think what happened, because it ended up in a bag, and then he ass slammed the bag on SummerSlam.
No, I don't remember this.
Summer ass slam, bag slam.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. 3.
Could you imagine this? Like, you think, like, oh, I'm going to a porno convention. You're like, oh, no, they're just wrestling. I wanted to see some summer ass slam. Yeah, that snake went in there and traveled across the entire stadium, and they came up in a toilet on the other side.
And right behind it,
it was a fucking big rat, right? Yeah, right in his coattails. Because the snake was wearing a tuxedo.
Wearing a tuxedo?
I mean, how else can you ride someone's coattails? They have to be wearing a tuxedo, right? Rats are going.
Oh, God.
See, rats are pissed because snakes are getting all the credit for riding around in pipes. They're like, we did that shit before you never knew what the fuck a toilet was.
You know what's disgusting besides rats coming out of toilets is...
snakes coming out of toilets?
Snakes coming out of toilets. And even more disgusting than that is...
Poop coming up out of the toilet?
Which you wouldn't.
Hey, do you watch Hoarders? Do you watch Hoarders?
Hoarders?
Hoarders, the show Hoarders?
Horners? What are you saying?
Hoarders.
Have you ever watched Hoarders? No, I don't watch Hoarders.
You don't?
No.
Oh, I don't know why.
I bet you I can imagine in my head exactly what it is.
Yeah, no, but they're all different. Some hoard like garbage, some hoard like poop.
Uh-huh.
The best ones are the ones when they're just taking shits in the toilet. The toilet doesn't work anymore, so the toilet is literally a mountain of shit coming out the top. And then the lady goes, "I've been eating poop for the last 12 years." Is it more disgusting than that? She poops in a bucket. They show it like her bucket full of pee poop, and she instead of dumping the bucket out, it's too heavy because it's like a 5-gallon bucket from Home Depot. It's just to get kind of full, so she uses a smaller container, like a measuring cup, to scoop it out.
I'm thinking about vomiting right now. So can we
and pours it into another bowl, and then takes the bowl outside. And now they're filming her with a bowl, and she's shaking it in the dirt, and she's getting pee poop all over her hands.
And they put that on television.
Oh yeah, they did.
Welcome to America.
Now, what did you want to tell me that's so disgusting?
I don't remember. Oh, now I do. I was going to say that you wouldn't do this, but if you did...
Wait, eat poop?
No. Well, maybe you do poop. I don't know. You might do poop all the time.
I mean, I'm a child of the internet. I grew up... Actually, I didn't have the internet until I was 17, 18. But I mean, like, my formative years then was like the internet when it was cool before it got really annoying.
Yes, we grew up in a time where you had to wait until you were 18 years old before you saw somebody eat pee poop.
Yeah. But I mean, I've seen enough people eating poop on the internet that I was like, my wife told me and I was like, and?
Yeah.
I've seen people eat shit. I mean, there is this thing called 2 girls, 1 cup. It's not, I mean, it's been so long that I wonder if there probably are, the younger generation literally doesn't understand that reference.
What's that thing in that podcast we were listening to where the guy actually medically needed the doctor to take his own feces and then make it a shake and then
like a poop transplant?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
That's when the Bombcast was still good.
This is the Titanic.
Before
Titanic
it got
podcast, right? Titanic?
Yeah.
Billy Zane cast?
So the boat's sinking at this point because the critters have chewed a hole in the hull.
Yeah.
That's why they call it a hole.
Yeah, they think it was the iceberg, but there were critters on the iceberg because they're prehistoric and they got frozen there and they've been there the whole time. And global warming has melted it, so they get out and then they eat the ship.
Anyways, did you get my whole joke?
No, I missed your whole joke. Repeat your whole joke,
Because the critters ate a hole in the boat.
Yeah.
That's why they call it a hole.
Oh,
got a hole in it.
Oh, you got a hole in your hull.
See, Titanic didn't land on an iceberg. Critters landed on the iceberg. And then Plymouth Rock. I don't know.
Okay.
This is the worst podcast in the history of the universe.
But you know what would be worse than this?
Somebody poop?
I just had this thought because as we were talking about rats, or as I was talking at you about rats, as I was talking you about rats, I was thinking about all of the horror rat movies that exist.
Willard?
Willard's one.
And it just got a Blu-ray release from Scream.
Yeah.
Or Shout or whatever.
And then I thought like, wow, I do podcasts. I do podcasts.
That's a Freudian slip.
On horror things, but I'll probably never do a podcast that's devoted to just rat horror movies. But if you asked me to do it, I would be excited to do it. That's all.
So they blow up the toilet.
Hey, I just want to say Of Unknown Origin is a really good movie.
Okay. We really need to stop with this.
RoboCop versus Giant Rat. Okay, go ahead. And now he's in KFC commercials.
Terrence Mann wanted to shoot the toilet and blow up in his face, and they said, no, let's let a stuntman do it. And then when the stuntman did it, all the pieces of ceramic blew up and cut his face open pretty good. And he said, oh, I'm glad I didn't do that. Because they shoot the toilet with the critter in it.
Let the stunt person do it. That's the moral of the story.
Now there's a big critter. Well, no. You let Tom Cruise do your stunts. See, what you don't understand is that the whole time people go, oh, Tom Cruise does his own stunts. And you're like, yeah, it's because he was a stuntman. He used to, like, when George Clooney needed a stuntman, they just called Tom Cruise.
Are you making a joke right now, or is there something I didn't know?
No, I'm
Fuck you, all right. I was there for a minute. I'm like, was Tom Cruise a motherfucking stunt person before he was like an actor?
It's that Tom Cruise does all the other major actors' stunts for them.
Right, yeah.
So,
and he's got those masks from Mission Impossible, so he looks exactly like everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Have you kept up with the Mission Impossible movies?
I'm waiting for Netflix to allow me to.
But have you seen like the last two besides the new one?
Yeah, I've seen them all. Other than the
do they all have the mask thing? Is it all still just at the end of the movie?
No.
It's like, wah!
I mean, it's been a while since I watched them. I'm pretty sure it's only like one of them that has that.
All right.
I'm waiting to watch the new one. Netflix has not had it in stock for a long time.
It's kind of exciting. We're almost at the end of Critters 1.
Don't worry, that's going to be the end of the podcast because there ain't no worth. Well, it's okay. Big Critter tries to get Brad, and it jumps out a window. His sister gets abducted, which is weird. The bounty hunters get in Harv's car.
Aliens.
What?
She got abducted by aliens.
Right, they didn't just eat him. They like drag her away.
Because they were going to perform they're going to put like anal probes.
Is that the sound it makes when they do the anal probe?
Ooh, that would not be the sound that I would want to hear.
That's a cold spring right there, buddy.
No,
wow.
Think about it. I wouldn't want to hear any sound. I would hope it would just be kind of silent
But then you would just hear like as it like
just like as air escapes.
As it squeaks fast as
I'm done. Stop.
Well, how else you can eat your own poop? Oh God, I'm abducted by aliens. And then whatever. Charlie shows up finally. Brad goes into the spaceship, rescues his sister. Charlie throws a Molotov cocktail, into the ship, and it ignites the firecracker that Brad had caught in his pocket that fell out of his pocket when he was rescuing his sister.
Setup and payoff.
Yeah, absolutely. But before that happens, the critters are flying away because he throws a Molotov cocktail and the fire starts, but it takes a little bit for the fire,
Yeah.
They just blow up their fucking house and then laugh about it.
So the filmmakers said to themselves, you know what? I think people like the critters too much. They're too much fun. They've killed people, but people like them. What could they do that would like it? Like literally, I think I've watched it 2 or 3 times. And yeah, the first time was just like, what a bunch of assholes.
I just think it's great because not only do they do it out of spite for no reason, and then they laugh about it.
Yeah.
And then they all blow up. Yeah. So it's like cosmic justice.
I still like them.
Cosmic, because they're from space.
Cosmic justice.
Yes. CJW, if you will. Cosmic Justice Warrior.
Okay.
Yes, Jesus Christ. He blew them up for blowing up the house.
Yeah. Jesus Christ was a
Deus Ex Machina, the hand of God.
Social commentary.
Have you ever seen the end of have you ever read The Stand? Can
No.
I hey everybody in the world, I'm going to spoil Stephen King's The Stand in the next 10 seconds.
Wait, can you not though? Because I don't want it spoiled.
I'm going to spoil The Stand for everybody, including Ryan.
No, don't. No, seriously don't.
Why?
Because I want to fucking read it.
You've had 9 years.
So?
Fine.
If I wait until my last week of life to read it, that's my decision.
It's going to take more than a week to read it, though. It's really
I have at this point managed to not have The Stand spoiled for me other than the fact that I know that it gets fucking weird.
You already know because I've already said it.
No, I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear.
All right, fine. See what happens. No,
spoil the end of Critters.
The movie just ends.
No, it doesn't. Well, they almost just had it end.
Yeah. The original ending was just the house blows up and it's
they're just like, bummer.
Yeah. Ugg gives Brad a space
pager.
Phone. Oh, a space charger.
Space pager.
I have the word pager written down in my notes.
Beeper.
I had one of those for like a day. It wasn't mine. It was somebody else's.
Beeper.
But they knew I had it, so they communicated with me by pager, and I felt like a grown up.
Did you put it on your belt?
Probably.
Your belt loop?
Probably. I mean, I was like 16 or 15 or something like that. Charlie seemingly just goes to space with the bounty hunters, I guess. Like they don't
he just
show
follows
that.
them. He follows, it's like a very he just.
But in the second movie, he's with them. You're like, oh, I guess he went into their spaceship with them.
Yeah, there was no like, hey, would it be cool if I,
I got nothing going on Earth. Can I come with you?
So Close Encounters, where he goes away with the aliens at the end of the movie. You've never seen Close Encounters?
It's been a long, long time. Between that and Fire in the Sky, I can't tell the difference between the two.
Oh, well, they're very different movies.
Now, Cocoon and Battery's not included. We could talk about that.
We could talk about Batteries not included. Or we could talk about how Close Encounters was influenced by Critters.
I really wish I had another drop for my mouth because my mouth's getting dry.
Drop the beep.
House. Okay, so then the beep, 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 beep pager thing just goes off and the house rebuilds itself in reverse.
Yeah, well, the bounty hunters do it.
Yeah.
They're like, here you go, magic.
Which, to be honest, was probably the best.
That's why they blow the shit out of everything because they don't give they can just go like this and put it all back together again.
I don't know how that worked.
How they did this.
There was never supposed to be a sequel. They're supposed to be just like, oh, magic at the end to let it go. But then it's like, where does that power come from?
They're aliens. They can do anything. Right.
But then in the sequels, they never get dressed or anything. That never happened. Like at the end of a single movie where you don't have any more story or plot, it's fine. But when you have like an overarching story now that goes into other things, you're like, hey, what about the thing where you had fucking magic? You know?
Yeah, but how fucking cool is it when the house put itself back together and then the cat was in the mailbox? After you thought maybe the cat was just going to get fucking like destroyed. It was going to get eviscerated in the house that's putting itself back together.
That was the best effect in the movie though. And then at one point, their family's standing in front of it as it's rebuilding itself. And I guess that was a miniature and it was forced perspective. I fucking fooled me.
Yeah, I just thought they like knocked a house down and then did reverse photography.
Yeah.
And that's Critters 1.
So of course the original ending was, yes, the house doesn't rebuild itself. It's just they don't have no house. And then at the very end we see eggs in the chicken coop.
So somebody will make a comic book showing the original ending.
Whatever, you're a nerd. So.
And they never made any more.
Eagle Rock, California is a police station. They built that whole house, but it had no back. So I guess the house was just like open to the elements, but the rest of the house was actually fully functional. They built that house. Charlie wasn't an actor. He was a carpenter. He just became an actor.
He was a relative, right? Wasn't he the brother of the
producer?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was in a previous movie called Android that they all kind of did together.
I want to watch Android.
It seems like Android is the only is the reason why like any of these people got a career came from Android. Valencia. It was filmed in like Valencia and Santa Clarita, which again, California. It's like north of LA. Oh yeah, when they blew up the house, I guess people from the freeway could see the house, the explosion. So they got a lot of calls for saying like there's a house on fire or something like that, and yeah, it didn't go over well with the town. Like they weren't like, hey, we're gonna be blowing up a house, but it's like
just
no,
kidding.
You could see it from the goddamn highway. So people who don't live there were just driving by. Were like, what the fuck was that? You know,
it's quite an explosion.
Oops. Yeah, it was. I love old explosions in movies.
Yeah, nobody does that. I like horror movies that have explosions in them because you like when you think of giant 80s explosions, you think of like action films. But go watch Child's Play. Holy shit!
Yeah, that house explodes big time. Critters are based on the Tasmanian Devil, the old cartoon, like Tasmanian Devil stuff.
Taz, if you will.
The guy who was originally supposed to do the Critters effects, the special effects, the characters, I guess, was too busy doing Elm Street 2, and he what's the word I'm thinking here? Said, hey, have the Kyotos do it.
He recommended.
Recommended. I was going to say reference, so yeah. Okay, let's keep going with this. The guy who wrote the script when he was 19 years old.
A long time before Gremlins got made.
Ooh, yeah. He also wrote the Evil Bong movies, which...
There you go.
Which Patrick Klepek is credited on Evil Bong 3 as idea. I thought that was a really fun, like, I remember him talking about that at one point, and then I was, like, looking up his thing, I'm like, Evil Bong isn't... Click. Holy shit. Look at that kind of weird 6 Degrees, or Kevin Bacon or whatever. Not that I know either one of them, but...
Do you think that an Evil Bong movie would be better than Cracker Jacked?
Oh, yeah, it absolutely is. We watched the trailer for those movies. They're not the worst thing in the world.
Okay.
They're just bad. Tommy Chung is in one of them, of course. Tommy Chong. Cheech and Chong.
Of Cheech and Chong fame.
So I mean, Cheech and Chong, but his real name is Tommy Chung, so yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Originally, the guy who wrote it moved down to, Hollywood and was just going to go around to, like, dentists and doctors to get them to invest in his movie.
Yeah, that's how a lot of people got it done.
Which is kind of interesting. It's like
how Evil Dead got made.
But I'm saying that he wasn't even trying to make, like, a theatrical film. He was just trying to make, like, a dumb student film.
Right.
And then someone got wind of it and was like, we'll make that, He had already done his posters and storyboards himself. So that's
he designed the creatures.
Yeah. I mean, that's the greatest way to do it all. Is just do it all. So if someone goes like, hey, I have an idea. Like, no, look, I already did all the work.
Mm-hmm.
If you give me the money, it's already all done. Charlie... Okay. Moose pelt is what they use for the fur.
Yeah, they were talking about how it was, what did they say? Like, it wasn't quite as flexible as they were going to originally.
Like heavy,
like
but regular. It has a good look.
Yeah. I think they made the right decision. I thought it looked cool.
They had a radio-controlled ball they could roll around. Like, I was curious how that works. I know it's like BB-8 before BB-8. Oh, so, again.
Well, BB-8, they just push on a roller that's green, then they take the
you can buy those things, though, that have the, like, you can buy one that actually does that.
Yeah. I'm just saying there's a lot of
Who directed so J.J. Abrams watched Critters.
Yes.
And said,
that's a joke, but that's actually probably true, because he loved Phantasm.
Like, instead of having, like, a hairball, what if it's just like a droid? BB-8 came from Critters.
I think that J.J. Abrams should reboot Critters.
I think J.J. Abrams came from Critters. He was in the egg at the end of the chicken. I think that
J.J. Abrams is a critter.
Yeah, so when the eggs hatched at the end of the chicken coop, that's where he came from.
That makes sense.
Him and McG.
I'm lost right now.
Okay, toilet, Joe Bob, hee-haw style, American Gothic. Yeah. Okay, this is a weird one. They had a screening years after it had its theatrical run at the Arrow Theater. And I guess the writers, friends, and the crew, like, they all came, like, hey, let's, it's probably been like 10 years. Let's go watch Critters, the theatrical, whatever. And the film print they had, all the creature effects had been cut out of the movie. What the
Yeah, I remember this.
And I guess the only explanation they could come up with is like the Brad Pitt in Fight Club. Is like, as it gets passed around to projectionists, they keep, like, cutting us.
They want to keep a cell at home.
And so all the creature effects by then are all gone.
That's really funny. And then he ended up finding another print, though, right? They had to, obviously.
After the writer died and they were going through his stuff, he had a print
he had it,
in his fucking closet.
Because it was gifted to him from somebody.
Like by one of the producers or something. Yeah.
Isn't it crazy? Like, I mean, there's that whole thing where, pre-1950, like, half of those movies are just fucking gone. Whatever got made before 1950 or whatever.
That's part of what happened with that Universal fire. Like, 15, 20 years back when, like, their vault got damaged. And, they just lost a lot of films.
It's just, like, stuff that's, like, how easily... It's
Didn't
just
lose
like,
Back to the Future.
Yeah. That's what's going to happen to video games, right?
It's already happened. Yeah. Well, no, because depends which part. Because we've already preserved almost everything from,
And now is the podcast about video game archival
Critters 2.
Was there a Critters video game?
I don't think so. There should have been, but no.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay, yeah, you know what, I didn't really...
Sonic the Hedgehog.
...want to get into, take notes, because I didn't want to look it up, but yeah, there is some actual who did it first Sonic stuff in here, because I don't know. Yes, but let's get to Critters 2.
The second one actually had, like, things.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm going to look up that Sonic the Hedgehog thing.
Okay. Critters 2, which is the best Critters movie, is the one we're going to start talking about now.
I'm sorry, you have
the best Critters.
No, there's a mistake you made in there.
Critters times 2.
It's actually the first one. You watch it twice, so it's like watching Critters and Critters 2, but it's really just
Critters 2 is like taking two Critters 1 movies and putting them together and then putting frosting on it, and it's delicious. Critters 2, directed by Mick Garris, who is a person that who
surprisingly is a big name, but if you really look at his filmography, not that much.
He's
mainly garbage.
Have you seen all?
I don't mean
movies?
to be
Can you confirm that they're garbage?
Yeah.
Can you?
Yes.
You've seen Psycho 2.
Do I need to?
Maybe.
It's funny when you type in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Actually, he didn't do Psycho 2. He did Psycho 3. But you know who wrote Psycho 2 is the same dude. Oh, you haven't seen Fright Night. Never mind. Mick Garris hosts a very wonderful podcast called postmortem where he interviews horror filmmakers, and I like it a lot. And I know from this that Mick Garris is vegan, and that explains a lot of Critters 2. That's
why the grandma's like, don't eat red meat.
Her. Also the fact that at the end, what's the downfall of the Critters is how they eat the fast food.
Sonic the Hedgehog didn't come out until 1991. Critters 2 came out in 1988, something. I don't know what it is. Yeah. 1988. Yep. And Critters 3 came out in 1991. Well, I don't remember which one it is. If it's the second one or third one.
High.
The second or third one. I don't know. We'll get it when we get there. Critters 2. Okay, so Mick Garris, The Stand. He did
like all of Stephen King's TV shit.
I do like the TV adaptation of The Stand, even though it's not that great. I do like it.
He did The
Masters of Horror,
also, which I didn't see. He more than that, he organized Masters of Horror.
I know that. That's why I knew him from. A lot of TV episodes.
He did Silver Bullet, which I've never seen, and people seem to like.
Mainly writing.
Yeah, but he's just been involved in a ton of shit.
See, but compare that like Bill and Ted, that shit like that. Like he had what is Mick Garris?
Critters 2, man. Critters 2.
That's his shining star.
I'm just saying. IMDb. I watched this and then I understood why everybody liked Mick Garris, because I said this is a talented filmmaker, and I'm not even being ironic. It sounds like I am. I actually really like this movie.
I'm burnt out, unfortunately.
On just the podcast.
Yeah. Okay. On talking about it. Just I think my throat's getting dry, and I'm just kind of like,
Okay.
No, let's keep going. We'll keep going. I'm just saying. I'm kind of like.
So you're gonna go back and cut this stuff out?
No, I'm just in general. I'm saying. We'll keep going.
Okay. So I thought Critters 2 had great creature effects. I think they were better than in the first movie. I think they got a bigger budget, and they.
No, they got a. Yes, they did. They got a bigger budget.
They got a bigger budget. Yeah. And they really leaned.
All for naught.
I got Critters 2 out of it. They really leaned into the humor, which I appreciated. I think that's kind of where this movie's sweet spot is. It's another movie I don't think exists without Critters.
Every movie.
Slither.
I was thinking about Slither, but just because you said James Gunn.
But yeah, we already know that James Gunn is a big fan of Critters. You heard it here first. Hot scoop.
So we start Critters 2 off in an alien world.
Yeah. Right. So the bounty hunters have taken on Charlie, and he's the third bounty hunter. And I appreciated that this movie, unlike the other ones, starts with sci-fi horror stuff, like right out of the gate. Even if it doesn't come back around to it for a while, I just think that that's smart. That's all. Guardians of the Galaxy I already talked about.
Guardians of the Gator.
Yeah. Most people don't know about the Gator Guardian. It's a comic book character.
Sounds like a boss.
1978.
A video game boss.
So the daycare nanny, that's where I'm at. So if you don't want to do plot stuff, because
Brad's grandma.
I can't remember the fucking plot.
Well, put it this way. Okay, so the whole thing is we spent a lot of time on Critters 1, and we're just gonna get through Critters 2, 3, and 4.
Okay. Can I at least? I have
less jokes, less whatever. We're just gonna kind of get through them because you seem to like Critters 2 a lot. I did too. But again,
the boy who cried critter.
The enthusiasm is just kind of poofed out now. So let's just hurry through this because Okay, yeah, Brad's grandma. She runs a daycare, and she's Brad's grandma, and she doesn't like it when he eats red meat. Brad's been back. He's back in town. We assume, he went away to college for a year? Maybe he's, just graduated high school when he's coming back because he moved out of Grover's Bend? How old is this kid?
Well, he's not in high... Wait. They're not in high school because when he's talking to the girl...
He asked her if she's a senior.
No, she said, I was a senior. When he was... Oh, okay.
She asked, she's like, I'm a senior. He's like... Were you this person? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So either he's a year older than her, which he seems like a child, but
Wait, what did they say happened to his family?
Nothing. They just never addressed it.
He just went back to town?
Yeah, they must have moved out after the kerfluffle of them talking about space creatures and shit, and they probably got outcasted, so they just moved to Kansas City.
Better than being typecasted. So... Critters prequel movie where you find out how the couple meet, and then Critters in between movie where you find out what happens to Brad's family.
This is literally a thing of DB or what's her name? The mom?
Dee Wallace.
Dee Wallace is she won't come back, so I guess we don't have a family anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And we won't even say anything about it. Whose grandma? Is this his dad's mom or his mom's mom?
Do you think that Ugg looks like Peter Dinklage and Tim Curry had a baby?
Wow. You mean specifically Rocky Horror Tim Curry had a baby with Peter Dinklage?
Tim Curry, I don't know.
Yeah, but he looks like Rocky Horror.
Congo Tim Curry.
Home Alone 2 Tim Curry.
Stop eating my sesame cake. When's the last time you've seen Congo? The movie's great.
It's been a long time.
Bruce Campbell's in Congo.
I just remember
he gets decapitated by a gorilla.
I just remember the gorilla charges at you. Don't run away.
Yeah. And then they all run
away. And then he goes, what'd you do? We ran away.
Ernie Hudson is an American treasure.
Tell us to Ernie Hudson.
I will if I ever see him. I hope he appreciates it if I do.
He's going to go, yeah, okay.
Ghostbusters. Pinbusters. I felt like when there's that scene where Brad's standing up to the bully in that like the fucking ice cream shop or something, and it seemed like the movie was trying to be like, I was gonna say it's like the movie's trying to be like Back to the Future, but the reality is that Back to the Future is just trying to be like Critters 2. I like Quigley, the fucking like what do you even call him? Like the hoarding like drunk.
Oh fuck him.
Oh, I liked him,
but like his that character was just so over the top and lame. Like the actor couldn't pull it off without being kind of like. Okay, well, I'll tell you this. Oh, no, that was Back to the Future 1. Yeah. I wrote the same thing
down. Did you actually look up the dates?
Well, no, because I was thinking more about Back to the Future 2, which came out after Critters 2. But it does happen in the first movie. It happens, like, the same thing happens because everything in Back to the Future 2 is something that just happened in one but redone in the future. When it happens in the second one, it's funnier because he has like a Griff, which is Biff's grandson, has like this thing that like makes him taller, or you hear like machine servos going.
Yeah.
So it's in my mind, I was thinking more of Back to the Future 2, but it actually was done in the first movie.
There you go.
Just not to that as like hyper realistic or hyper. Let me think of like hyper fake.
I understand the young guy that wants the beer in the porno magazines was an asshole, and he deserved to get eaten by baby critters, not the other guy. So they find eggs, whatever, critter eggs. Critters they're not gone. They laid some eggs. So
I wrote like, the dumb punk kid finds eggs and tries to sell them to the local trash collector guy.
Yeah, and this is an Easter movie. This is one of the few Easter horror films.
Not directed by Shane Black then.
Not directed by Shane Black then. Right.
Because it would have been Christmas.
It would have been a Christmas movie. Good one.
Good one. There's not a joke there. I'm just saying.
It was a good saying.
Thank you. I appreciate your
and
comment.
Boy, sometimes Blood Rage is a Thanksgiving movie. I know you're a big fan of Blood Rage.
Isn't Black Christmas also a Thanksgiving movie?
No.
It's not Christmas time. I thought it was
like... Of course it is.
The people are like home for Thanksgiving.
No.
And they have like turkey.
When did you watch Black Christmas?
6 months ago. I don't know.
You did?
When we got... we did a fucking podcast
I forgot we did
a
Christmas podcast on it.
It was a year and a half. It was like a little over a year
Can you
ago.
remind me if you liked it or not? Because
I liked it.
Okay, good.
I like Silent Night, Deadly Night more.
That's okay. It's not, it's not as good of a movie, but like...
I need to be high to watch Black Christmas. I want to really get into it.
The Black Christmas remake is not as bad as everybody makes it out to be.
I didn't know
That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, the love interest.
She's been in some more stuff, I guess. She's still around doing things.
Oh, I don't know. I thought she was like really like cute.
I did too.
But even though her hair is terrible.
I like her eyebrows.
She's not Jennifer Connelly.
The little daughter, her sister, there's a part where the dad like tucks her in.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Did you think it was really cute?
The way the sisters...
bed bugs thing? I thought that was adorable. I don't know.
I was thinking more when the sister's like, good night, creep, good night, whatever.
That was cute too. The whole thing was cute. I don't know.
Like, I believe that relationship.
She was like, don't let the bed bugs bite. And she was like, if they do, I'll bite them back. And she like clicks her teeth, and I thought it was cute.
It would be cute if my own kid did it, not someone else's, because other kids are...
Fuck other kids.
Yeah, other people's kids are stupid shit. Mine are awesome.
Baby critters are awesome. That's all. That's all. I thought they were really cool.
The love interest that Brad ends up, the one that, you're a senior? Yeah. She's the newspaper's daughter. Her dad's a newspaper.
Right. Her dad is a newspaper.
Her dad is a newspaper.
Her dad is a newspaper.
Specifically was it 1988? Like the 1972 edition?
Yeah. Hey, do you know it's black and white and red all over?
A newspaper?
The daughter's the father character in this. Never mind. That's so fucking bad.
You tried to make a joke and it failed because
it did because
the answer is supposed to be a bloody zebra or the zebra that the critters ate.
No, it's a motherfucking newspaper.
I know, but that's the obvious answer.
Scott Grimes has Robin Williams' hands.
I'm sorry for anyone that's still listening to this.
Especially if you're Robin Williams.
Because you're dead?
I don't know, because he's listening beyond the grave. I love Robin Williams. I don't want to make any jokes.
Do you think God is just Robin Williams, actually?
Like he was here for a while
like,
and then he left?
Everyone thinks that... No, everyone thinks that...
What if God is one of us?
It's that everyone thinks that more... What's his fucking name? The guy from Batman. Bruce Almighty. Joker. Lucius Fox. Who's the character? Actor?
Luscious Fox?
That's a furry. That's a different thing. Who plays Lucius Fox?
Oh.
Shawshank Redemption.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Is that racist?
Yes, I'm just kidding. Morgan Freeman.
I was like, Morgan's the word there. Morgan Freeman. Everyone's always like, oh, Morgan Freeman is God, right? But I'm like, wouldn't Robin Williams really be the best? Like, I mean, he was Genie.
Oh, wise God gotta be white.
Well, Genie's blue.
And short and hairy.
Okay, you want to get into it? The Genie's blue. Why Will Smith gotta be blue?
Damn, son.
Talking about Blueface.
That did look really bad.
Oh, God.
It looked as bad as everybody said it did. I didn't quite get it because I saw stills and I'm like, whatever. And then I watched it in action. I'm like, why the fuck did they animate this? Like, he's Will Smith. Just put a fucking camera. What are you doing?
Just make the Genie black.
Yeah.
Just make him a person. Why has he got to be glowing blue?
The old lady group hiding the eggs for the kids, I thought was actual social commentary. It was like, we're all going to die soon, and the eggs represent like rebirth, and we're giving the children, and they're the next generation, and that's like what Easter's all about.
That's like the crazy scientist in an alien novel.
That's what Easter is.
It's like, I want to be impregnated so that I can give birth to a xenomorph.
I like that the little girl had a Mad Balls under her bed. I don't know if you remember that toy. They were popular in during this time.
Did you have one?
No.
Are you regretful that you didn't have one?
Yeah.
Should I call your dad right now and tell him to get you one for Christmas?
Yes, please.
Okay. Christmas is a long ways away, so just you're going to be waiting for a while.
You want to talk about the Playboy magazine scene? Because I thought that was pretty good.
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
You mean like when
what would you like to talk about before that?
Okay, well, so the talk about aliens and spaceships has been real bad for Grover's Bend.
Yeah.
So they want to pretend... Well, one, I don't know how many of them...
Yeah, you would think, if anything, it would make like tourist town.
Well, but the thing is that it's not like Tremors where like graboids have become a thing. No one in the town really knows it happened other than the sheriff and the family.
Yeah, because they weren't there for it.
But they
Even though a lot of people saw somebody fucking take a bowling ball and play air hockey with it.
Yeah. Yeah, what else did they do in public?
Not to mention blow up the pulpit in the church.
Yeah.
But those were people.
Oh, you know what? Those people, that guy changed shape, though.
That's true.
So, okay, maybe they did. More people did see this. Anyways, the town probably got known for, like, being crazy, like, tabloid. And so they want to, like, put this past them, pretend it never happened. So when Brad comes back, it's like, oh, no. He's like, no, that shit never happened. Like, even Brad's like, it's all made up.
Yeah.
We were just crazy. We hallucinated. I don't know.
On the run from the government.
So, yeah.
Keep it a secret.
You know, he probably lived through the aftermath, and he knows just to let it go. It's just not worth fighting over. So that's, like, the tone, the emotion of the village. The village.
The village.
Yeah.
Takes a village to raise the Brad.
See, what happens is M. Night Shyamalan has a twist at the end of Critters, too.
And it, what?
Turns out they were on the Critters homeworld the whole time.
Oh,
and we're the invaders.
Is M. Night Shyamalan still the security guard that's...
No, he's the guy who got eaten by the ball.
Okay.
Skeleton. Yeah, Easter eggs, good setup. Old guy dog get eaten, baby critters. Again, more first-person view on the kid's sleeping. And she gets the egg, and then it hatches in the nighttime, and like her legs dangling over the edge of the bed, and then her hand, he's trying to get her, and then the dad walks in and just steps on it.
And thinks it's the chocolate Easter bunny. So there's a chocolate. She has a chocolate Easter bunny.
Why does she
put
it
it down by the heater?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right? And then I thought like something's gonna. Was that just so as an audience when the dad steps on it, he's like, oh, that must have been that chocolate bunny that she left by the heater.
That's green. Now.
It's got green inside.
Goo, yeah. I just think it's just a dumb kid. But yeah, maybe I guess. The new sheriff sucks. Just the actor, the character, everything about it. It's just like this guy's. I guess it's because he's only there to get killed. He's there to be there for 5 minutes and then get eaten by critters in a bunny suit.
Oh yeah, but that was okay though.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, it's just like okay. We don't have enough money for this, I guess, because we spent all our money building this 30-foot tall ball of critters.
In his pants.
So he literally just like, here, put a bunny suit on and pretend there's things rolling around in there. I mean, there were rolling around in there, but like, there was no, you didn't see much.
Oh.
Except when he dies.
Dead carcass was.
It's just like a bloody mouth. He's just like, oh, I'm bleeding out my mouth. Like, I don't know, that was kind of lame. But he jumps through the fucking window of the church.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I mean, it was a good stunt, but it just.
I mean, Tom Cruise did it, so it's.
Oh, they hired Tom Cruise in the bunny suit, what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. He was just practicing for Mission Impossible. What?
What was Tom Cruise doing in 1980? What was this?
Days of Thunder, probably. Risky Business.
Yeah. No, Risky Business.
Days of Thunder. Cold Trickle.
What the fuck is that?
You don't know what Days of Thunder is?
No, Cold Trickle?
Cole, C-O-L-E.
Oh, is that the name of the character in Days of Thunder? I never saw that movie.
Also, Days of Thunder video game for the NES, pretty good.
Pretty good?
One of those racing games where the tires actually wear out and you have to like pit and stuff.
Oh, it's realistic.
Yeah.
It's like a rogue... No, never mind. I was going to say a roguelike. I don't know anything about video games anymore.
Rogue Legacy, yeah, very realistic. You know, they had generations of like farting midgets and black and white visions and fighting eyeballs.
It was like the Demon Souls of race car games.
No.
No? I would very much talk about the sequence with the Playboy magazine, and it had boobs in it.
So Megan believes that there's creatures, and she says, Brad, I know this shit's real. And he's like, no, it's not. She's like, come on, you fuckface. I believe it too. Let's go see Harv. Harvey the sheriff is now a new actor who's much better.
I like them both.
Well, I mean, as a person.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I don't really know. He could be a piece of shit too. I just think that he, whatever. They're like the same person practically.
No.
He's thinner and seems like
I like him at Walsh, so this is kind of...
I know.
I don't know.
It just seems whatever. And sheriff is just, or what used to be the sheriff who got voted out.
You should watch Blood Simple, boy.
I want to. Surprisingly, Dan Reichert's the reason why I want to watch Blood Simple. Because
fucking Reichert?
Because he read the book. Because it takes place.
He read the book?
Oh, he reads now. Did you not know that?
No.
He's like, I'm going to go sit outside and wait for SNL tickets, Saturday Night Live. Did you know that the N in Saturday Night Live, the N stands for and?
No, it doesn't.
So it's S and L.
Are you making a Trump joke?
Oh, yeah.
Or a Trump Jr. joke?
Yeah, you knew that, right? Okay. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know that the N stood for and, but I guess I've been educated.
Educated by Donnie.
Yeah, the problem is when I see SNL, I think of Strength and Loyalty. It's a Bone Thugs album from 2007. Sorry, that's SNL is how I see that. So, anyways,
bringing it back around to hip hop.
What were we talking about? What did I go on a tangent about? Harvey, sheriff, he runs away. He's like, "Fuck off! I'll get out of here! Run away!"
Yeah.
I had a point before that, but I forgot what it was. So let's just go with Harvey runs away and says, "I don't want to be here. You should run away too."
Yes.
I'm a pussy.
That's what he says, actually.
And he says, "But I'm alive."
And then he says, "I am want to eat." And then he gets in his car and he runs
Dan
away.
Riker said, "I'm going to camp out for SNL tickets for 14 hours in the rain in New York, and I'm going to read a book the whole time because I read now." He's a reader.
Good for him.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about other podcast hosts.
Well, I wouldn't say host because he doesn't host the show.
Podcast members?
Yeah, sure.
Podcast stars?
Okay, so the grandma goes into her fridge and finds one. That's what reminded me of Gremlins. Even though the rest of the scene doesn't play out like Gremlins, it just kind of was like, oh, it's going to go there, but it didn't. My throat hurts real bad. Okay, now we can get to the Naked Hunter.
Oh, great.
Which, okay, if you've listened to our podcast before, you know I'd be like, oh, that girl's hot. That chick's hot. Okay, I like the way she looks. Like, I'm going to be a little pig here and be like, she's good looking. I mean, I like women, right? I can't deny that. I respect women. I love women. I love my wife. She's smart. She's intelligent. She makes more money than me. Awesome. This chick, you ever watch Married with Children?
Yes.
And you remember the hot women that Al would go after? I thought they were all just gross. Because I don't like 80s, why does it have to come back? Why does it come back? The fucking high-waisted, underwear and bathing suits and just I hated that decade for women because the bodies, I didn't like that. I wanted other stuff.
Yeah.
The women that they got for this,
yes,
very hot.
Yes,
very hot. Yeah. What I mean by that is you wouldn't think this is my type because it's not I don't like blondes. Yeah. She's hot as fuck.
Yeah.
And I was happy for that.
Yeah.
It was nice to look at.
Yeah.
Too bad she's dead.
She died. That's true. She would have had a
not that great of a career, probably.
Yeah. Well, according to Mick Garris, we'll never know. She might have been bright shining star.
Do you think Mick Garris had sex with her? Because he talked a lot about her in a very that kind of way, and I'm like, he probably banged her, didn't he?
Oh, I don't know. Now we're casting aspersions on people.
Don't cast aspersions on my asparagus. Anyways.
That sounded sexual.
That's a very Congress joke, which, oh my God, if anyone gets that reference, bravo to you.
Was that from the Cohen hearing?
Nope. It's Attorney General Eric Holder in front of Congress and Louis Gohmert. With a name like Louis Gohmert, and you look like and sound like Gomer Pyle. Jesus. Yeah, he says something and he goes, "You can't cast aspersions on my asparagus." And everyone's like, "Fuck your asparagus." Anyways.
So, check it out.
Yeah, check it out. A show starring John C. Reilly.
It's Lee, right? Lee needs a new face.
And Charlie says earlier in the movie, why does Lee not have a face anymore?
Yeah, and see if your face finds you, right? That's what they say.
You have to find the right match.
You have to find the right match. In this case, Charlie finds a Playboy magazine. He says, "This is fine American literature," and he's showing it.
American culture,
and shows it to Lee. And
that's what happens.
It's a fold out, right? Where you unfold so you can see.
What a magazine is. It's actually a bunch of pieces of paper that we staple together because you guys probably don't know what magazines are anymore. Fuck your youth. Yeah,
and in these magazines, they'd have naked ladies that didn't move around or it was not video.
When you
right?
print on
it was
paper,
just a picture.
It can't move afterwards.
Yeah.
Now we have fucking paper that we're gonna fucking have video on it and stuff. But it wasn't a fold out. It was like a centerfold. because a fold out would be like a.
You're right.
God, I miss magazines that you turn them sideways and the paper would fall out more and become longer. What a great idea! So you could see all of a naked woman's body.
Yeah,
that's the only reason
there wasn't enough room.
I mean,
there wasn't enough room.
I remember 13 years old, and my friend was also 13 years old, and then our other friend was like 16, and he had a car. Or no, he was 18. Family friend. It's like, why was an 18-year-old hanging out with 13-year-olds? And he was a family friend. Lived 2 doors down. We played as kids. We grew up, whatever. And he would drive us around to liquor stores to see if anyone would sell us porno at 13. When he could just go in and buy the porno because he was 18.
But he thought the funsies for him was to see if you guys could get away with it.
And I bought a porno. And I remember buying those and getting magazines also, in addition to VHS.
How did you ask for that? Were you like, can I have a porno?
Well, back then...
How much for a porno?
Back in the 90s, they was just still out there.
Yeah.
Like on the magazine rack. It's just they were near the top and stuff.
Yeah, I remember that actually.
And you could just walk up and grab a Playboy. You could go to Barnes & Noble at the Cerritos Town Center.
Fancy porno.
And there were just Playboys in a Barnes & Noble.
Yeah.
They were wrapped, so you couldn't thumb through them, but you could pick them up.
Yeah. Oh, man. You imagine like all the fucking homeless jerking off happening.
Okay, let's slow down. The eating poop thing doesn't get me, but why are we talking about homeless people jerking off now?
Well, you're the one to start talking about porno magazines and Barnes & Noble.
I just remember porno magazines back then, pre-internet and stuff like that.
Now it all happens in libraries.
It was just, that's true. Like you said, it wasn't big enough, so you had to fold it out. I remember there was Playboys and whatnot, but then I saw Cherry. And it was like, hey, here's a full 8.5 by 11 page of a vagina. Just a vagina. They didn't need more pages because they would just zoom in on the one part they wanted to show you. Good times. Also, at one point, Ryan had an apartment, and he lived with my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife. Me and my wife, Ryan was gone, decided, let's walk to the liquor store and buy a porno magazine, and then put a big picture of a vagina, I think it was, on the door of Ryan's room. So when he came home from work one time, there's a big dick or a vagina on the door of my room, right? But then he opens his door to his bedroom, and we plastered the fucking walls of his room with just... I went to Chinatown with some friends and bought an Asian porno mag in Chinatown because I thought it's just different. It's a different kind of porno magazine. They don't have those in the regular store. You have to be in Chinatown to get that one. So I bought one of those, and we said, well, we don't have enough because we started plastering your walls, and we ran out of porno. So we had to go to the liquor store and buy another one, and we bought a Cherry because there was a connection to Cherry magazine. So we bought a Cherry magazine and then covered your walls.
You got to relive your youth.
Yeah. And my 13-year-old
play a very expensive practical joke.
It was like $3.99 for. Oh, okay. I think they weren't expensive.
I thought you had like fat porn and old porn and stuff. That stuff's really expensive. Like specialty gross porn. It's not cheap.
You're body shaming.
What the fuck? Okay. Hey, anyway, so they look at the center.
Wait, what was your reaction when you had the porn all over your walls?
I was laughing. It was funny
because you thought the one on your door.
It was good. It was a good 1-2 punch.
Yes. Whoa, let's not mention the punch because that was something that was
donkey punch.
Yeah. That was the goatsy era. See, anyone grew up in
You goat say?
See, it's a play on you don't say. But it's not actually goatsy, it's goat.se, so it's actually goat say, yeah. If you don't know what a goatsy is, please don't research it.
No, Google it now.
Make sure you're in class in front of the teacher and Google that.
You know what's amazing about culture and the internet, just fucking everything, is that if somebody Googled that right now, instead of actually getting pictures of somebody stretching their asshole out, they would find nothing but like t-shirts and patches and fucking stickers and shit. With like a goatsy logo.
All the other
merchandise and paraphernalia that's been created.
No, it's like all the other artist renditions of a goatsy, like a Mondo. Said Mondo had a limited edition goatsy that we did. Yeah.
Oh, go on eBay, get that fucking rare only 200 made goatsy posters.
But it's like the Olympics, like you pull a reverse goatsy. That's the view from the inside. That's the view from the inside looking out.
Only few have done it and lived to tell the tale.
What happened to Style Project?
Are we done talking about critters?
Are we done talking about the internet? The internet's a very vast, deep resource.
Are we still talking about the internet? Or wait? Okay.
I was getting there. There's a vast, deep resource, much like a goatsy. It kind of goes on forever.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen the never-ending goatsy loop, as it zooms in, it just becomes more goatsy every time.
No, but I can imagine.
It's a man who stretches his butthole open very large.
Hey, you know about the theory of all reality is just it's goatees all the way
down. It's a goatee on the back of a turtle. It's a turtle doing the goatee.
What's under the goatee?
More goatee.
Goatee's part of the Stephen King universe.
See, what happened was when he wrote the end of It, he had the flying turtle because they wouldn't allow him to put a flying goatee in space.
Yeah.
You remember the giant robot in Spaceballs?
Yeah, the vacuum robot.
Yeah, really, what they wanted to build was a giant goatee that would orbit the Earth, so everyone could see it at all times.
Yeah, and the Earth just kind of like, sort of uneventfully, just floats into it. Oh my God!
So there's a naked lady in this movie.
Aliens are gonna find just all the goatsy merchandise. What the fuck with these people? Okay,
remember in the beginning of WALL-E when he's compacting all that trash. If you ever think about how if you ever think about WALL-E's hands and his body, he's. I think Ryan's going to die. I'm waiting for him to vomit on my floor.
Oh, does this mean that WALL-E was inspired by critters?
Well, critters and goatsy don't have... Wait, why did we even get on... I don't know.
Okay. What are we doing? With our lives, I mean. Oh, shit. Freddy Krueger's in this movie. Oh,
so you're saying the guy who created WALL-E must have been on the internet when he was in the 90s. Because the hand placement and the hole, like, it's just too much the same thing. Is this even a Critters podcast, or is it just us podcasting?
I don't.
AlphaCast has started. Critters 2. Yeah, see, the naked lady derailed everything. This is what happens when you put naked ladies in your movie. Guess what? Our male brains just disappear into goatee land.
I thought it was really funny.
If I had enough, if I win the Powerball, if I win like $1.5 billion, what?
The Critter Ball.
Critter Ball. I'm going to open up my own theme park called Goatee Land.
Okay.
And it's just, when you walk through, the opening entrance is, I mean, that's where you...
Right.
Whew. I mean, if I have $1 billion, what are you going to do? Say no?
Rick and Morty intestine theme park.
Yeah, that was a good episode. They did the boob thing where the body inflates and the suit has to make room for her butt and her boobs.
Yeah.
It has to tear open.
A very voluptuous lady.
Oh, she is. She's very...
But she's got a staple in her stomach.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I thought that was clever. That's all I wanted to say. I thought that was funny. There's
and then James Cameron
staple in the
centerfold.
centerfold. Oh, right, and then
got the idea for T-1000 from Critters.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you try to like walk through the metal bars, like in the prison,
yeah,
like the staple would keep you from doing it.
That's why you had to remove the staple.
Yeah, can't take the gun with you, or you have to turn the gun.
She's looking at a Playboy Lee is looking at a Playboy magazine and sees the staple in the magazine. Yes. So then recreates the body of the female with a staple in her middle section, and she pulls it out. Yeah. If you haven't seen Critters 2, which according to the internet, nobody did see it.
No, except for me.
And if you have $70 lying around to buy the Blu-ray set,
it's not $70.
$69.97.
I'm gonna sell mine.
I mean, you can get them for like $59, but the original list price was like $70. It's pretty crazy.
Okay, I gotta look for $40.
I mean, probably nobody bought the Blu-ray then. I don't know. Okay, the newspaper place gets attacked. There's a food fight at the Hungry Heifer. The critters get into the Hungry Heifer and start throwing food everywhere and eating and going crazy.
Shooting range.
Yeah, and then the bounty hunters show up and blow the hair off one of the critters' heads, and he becomes bald.
But then it's like into it.
Yeah, he likes to look. He's like, it's pretty cool.
I think he actually does just say cool.
Oh, it's like a reverse mohawk or something. Mm-hmm. A big critter, like a larger one, rolls down the street, hits a guy that's on a wire. It's what the beauty of like Blu-rays is, like they digitally restore movies, but then they don't go back in and like edit them. So now you can see all the wires and stuff.
There's a podcast that talks about horror movies and Blu-rays and stuff, and they have like a section at the end of every one where they go, is there anything that you notice?
I always think it's amazing, like you go back in time and the techniques they would use to hide wires, like even in Kung Fu films and stuff, like it worked. It was actually really effective. And then now that it's high def, you can see all that shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, I can't believe you couldn't see that wire, but because I see it now, but I guess, yeah, TVs back then and the light and stuff. Yeah, totally. There's one zooming on power lines. There's a critter like Sunset Overdrive style, just like, or Jet Set Radio.
That's very Gremlins-esque also.
Yeah. Dub Kid runs away, doesn't help. Everyone else goes in the church, and a critter knocks down a power pole, so they can't get out of town.
Oh, more horse each.
Yeah. Now it's a whole town worth. Which is okay. Her boobs. Okay, and Lee changes from a girl to the nerdy guy who works at the Hungry Heifer, and the boobs deflate and literally make like a balloon deflating sound.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. And then she gets eaten, and Ugg gets sad.
It's a crate trap.
Yeah, and then Ugg loses his face, and he can't transform, and he doesn't do anything anymore. He's sad.
He's post-traumatic stress.
And during that phrase, when he finds out, his face starts transforming to like all the different faces he's had before.
Yeah.
And all it is like a projection.
Yeah.
Ever been in the mall and then there's a jewelry store or a real estate thing?
Yeah.
And they have
and it's like fucking Total Recall.
Yeah, it's fucking weird because it's like a cutout of a person, but it's a projector playing on a man. Like, oh,
every time we walk by that, I go, we are truly living in the future.
Goddamn Paul Verhoeven.
Paul Verhoeven he would have made a motherfucking Critters movie.
I was like, he should have made RoboCop. Oh, wait. Then Harv shows up to save Brad, and it's like, oh, he didn't run away. He came back with the 6-shooters.
Yeah. He's like the badass guy.
People in the church want to blame Brad. He has the idea, let's open up the hamburger factory, and we'll just lace the shit with dynamite.
Commentary.
Social commentary, yeah. Don't eat red meat.
Vegan commentary.
If you eat the meat, it kills you.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
And then there's a big critter that leads them towards there.
Yeah.
And then at one point, the wind changes, and the critters go, I smell fresh meat, meaning humans.
Yeah.
But then the big critter goes, boneless.
Yeah.
Cheeseburgers are boneless. And they're like,
it's got a point.
Good point. Yeah, boneless. I mean, I don't want to deal with the bones. So they go to the factory, get blown up. Ugg was the big critter.
I know. I loved that part.
Actually, it was a pretty good reveal. Yeah.
I literally was like, he was undercover.
And then at one point when they're all rolling away, there's a little one that's like, wait up. Like a little critter literally says, wait up. Okay, I don't understand. So they blow up the meat place.
Yes.
Behind the scenes, they actually had 3 explosions planned. The first explosion melted the wires for the second and the third explosion. So the explosion you see in the movie is literally only a third of what was supposed to happen. Again, old horror movies love to blow shit up good, but they just messed up this time.
Were you about to say you don't understand why?
They all survived
That's how they survived.
They all knew they were going to blow up and decided to roll into a ball?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, whatever, regardless. When that ball rolls down the street, you can actually see one of the Kyoto brothers' feet, legs.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I saw it the first time.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it the first time. I didn't see it until they brought it up. The critter ball.
It's funny.
Is the equivalent of the alien.
If anyone out there watches Red Letter Media stuff, and you'll like Best of the Worst, you'll know that Rich Evans at times gets the whole like predicts something that's going to happen in the movie like 5 to 10 minutes before it happens, and then they laugh about it because they're like, "Oh my god, that joke that you made saying this would happen came true." The second I saw a critter ball, my wife said, it's going to roll over somebody and they're going to turn into a skeleton. Fucking 15 seconds later, she's busting up laughing. She's like, you're totally right. I was like, that's too good of a gag. Great minds think alike. I saw that coming.
I love the critter ball. I think the critter ball is really cool.
Yeah, it's the kind of absurd that just goes, okay.
It's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But I love it. I don't know if I have anything else to say.
I mean, should that critter ball hits a truck? Like they're like driving next to it and it's bouncing off them. I
I just like that they made this big ass practical ball just rolled around this town. It was fun. Charlie kamikazes in the spaceship to save the day. And I thought maybe he actually was dead. And I went, oh no.
He like ejected or something like that?
Well, he did survive somehow or another. But yeah, I think it was like a parachute or something.
All right. That's Critters 2.
Okay, that was all they did.
Mick Garris's wife is the alien who gives the orders to the bounty hunters. Interesting. She just like, hey, we'll put you in prosthetics.
Oh, I had that mixed up. I thought that was in the first one. That was actually a really cool alien.
And you barely ever see it. Yeah. The naked lady, again, I feel bad because I don't have a name for her. She's just naked lady. Whatever, she's dead. What does she care? That's insensitive.
I don't know. Let's move on.
Again, she moved on. She actually did a Playboy shoot that was never used, but the production was able to get a hold of the Playboy photos and actually make the fake Playboy magazine from the photos that were for Playboy. Yeah, she died in a car crash a few years later. It was the coldest winter in 100 years in Southern California, and she was out there naked.
Yeah.
And they felt bad for her. Night shooting, lots of night shooting. So they didn't build that whole town. It was just like a big... So, do you remember when we went to a haunted psychiatric closed down facility?
You're talking about where they shot Bubba Hotep.
Sure, I didn't know that, but it makes perfect sense. That's what that place looked like.
Well, they shot the outside of it.
Oh.
The outside of the retirement home in Bubba Hotep is that building that we saw.
Like in Downey or whatever?
Yeah. The inside of the movies is all
with the tree that has like a 30-foot diameter?
Yeah.
Yeah. That tree was humongous.
Do you remember the guy there that was like, I don't know, maybe you weren't with us.
There was no person there. We got
I came back during the day.
I got a flat tire driving through there, and there was police driving by, and we weren't supposed to be there. It was kind of freaked out, yeah.
Because that was like a police training
So what I was gonna say was that building, which once was like a psychiatric hospital, had been turned into a SWAT training range or whatever it was, like firing range and training for like urban.
Sneaking around there sounds like a good way to get shot.
Yeah. Turns out this Grover's Bend they didn't really build it all. It was already there. They just like spruced it up. It was a firing range for police because out in the middle of nowhere kind of thing. So they just took that and then used it. They used to filled the critters with condoms full of blood and stuff. So they had to have a guy go to 7-Eleven and buy a bunch of condoms and KY jelly. And he's like, yeah, hey, what's going on here? And the guy's like, we're having a great party. Like, that's fun. They used real meat in that meat packing place, but it's spoiled. And they had to keep shooting with spoiled meat. And the critters are not waterproof. And they got lots of rotten meat inside them and stuff. It's gross.
It seemed to happen a lot in these different movies where they just took the puppets and just like, dunk it in a thing and put whipped cream all over it, like it's not an expensive prop.
And I remember it's like, oh, you need them tomorrow morning for shooting. They're like, it takes like 12 hours to clean these things out. There was like some problems there. That ball was 10 feet in diameter. This is really interesting. So the orchestral music, the score for this movie was non-union. I don't know why, but for some reason they did, like, it was like a non-union thing. Steven Spielberg uses the Critters 2 score as temp music when he shoots films.
Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg.
But that's a literal Steven Spielberg connection. It's not even a joke. He literally would use the Critters 2 orchestra music when he was cutting a film. I remember watching Kick-Ass. I think it was the first one. And the music that would play in that movie was like, this is from another movie. And then it happened again. I was like, this is another movie as well. Like, why are they using music from other movies? Turns out they just like, when you shoot a movie and you're in editing, you use other music as temporary to just kind of get the pacing the way you might like it. And then you go make the music for real. Well, they liked the music so much in Kick-Ass, they just used it.
And that's how you end up with non-memorable music, according to Every Frame a Painting guy.
Tony.
That was the last video I made about how all of Marvel's music, most of it is not very good.
Yeah, well, Alan Silvestri doesn't. Alan Silvestri has only
the Avenger score is good. The Avenger score.
Alan Silvestri has only ever made one score. If you listen to Back to the Future and you listen to Predator, they're actually the same. It's really weird. I don't mean that as a joke. Like, they're not the same music, but you can actually hear the same kind of techniques that he uses in Predator in Back to the Future, which usually is what happens when you have a composer. They usually kind of have the same sound. Again, Nick Cave, Warren Ellis, they like their strings, they like their, cello, whatever. Anyways, this movie was a flop, and it caused New Line to lose out on a very lucrative infusion of cash from an investor. You want to say something to that? What? You making a face?
No, I'm just thinking about it.
Oh, it's Critters 2. You got anything else to add? Good. Let's go to Critters 3, which isn't as bad as everybody says it is. It's actually pretty good. Don't worry, I don't have any notes for Critters 3. We have to just remember off the top of our head.
I have notes like, these characters are not really likable. That's my third note. I don't know.
All right. 1991, Critters 3, directed by Christine Peterson, who basically nothing good else. She was the first AD on better movies. But as far as herself, she was the first AD on Tremors, Elm Street 5, Bill and Ted, and Chopping Mall.
I love Chopping Mall.
Yeah, I figured you would. But yeah, I don't think directing-wise, she doesn't have much under her belt either ways. Okay, so Critters 3 and 4, shot back-to-back. It was the only way to convince the studio to give them enough money to make more sequels was that they shot 2 movies.
2 for the price of 1.
2 for the price of 1, yeah.
All the money went into the 4th one.
I mean, the set, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's always going to be
There's no other effects in the 4th one. I guess, at the time, it's like...
costuming and...
CGI was probably expensive to do even basic shit. I don't know. This is better than Leprechaun in Space.
Thank you for admitting that.
It's even better... Oh, ow.
It's not better than Jason X.
I was trying to figure that out for a second.
No, I'd rather watch Jason X.
That's different. I'm trying to remember what the sets look like in Jason X.
Hellraiser. I don't know if that counts.
They're barely in space.
Part of it in space.
It's okay.
Bookends in space.
It's better than Hellraiser 4 Space. Because I remember Hellraiser 4 had like rubber guns.
Yeah, they bended when the
yeah, they weren't very straight. $2.5 million to shoot 2 movies. So $1.25 million each. They built both the sets in the same warehouse. So they literally had one building, did all of Critters 3 in it, and then did all of Critters 4 in the next. Like, tore it down and built it back up again. Yeah. I just realized I'm just reading the special features notes because I don't have actual notes for the movie.
Just say what it is about Critters 3. It's the only thing that anybody cares about.
They reuse props left over from Suburban Commando, which is, I think, that Hulk Hogan movie.
I'm actually happy that I know that now. I was frozen today. I don't know why I remember that line.
Is it the Hulk Hogan movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the Doc Doc Brown. What's the actor's name?
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd. I think that it must have been a trailer. You know how they had the trailers and the VHSs before the movie?
Yeah.
It must have been a movie that I just fucking watched the shit out of. And there had to have been a trailer for Suburban Commando before it.
There's less money for effects, so they concentrate on better articulation and animatronics. So there's less critters in this movie, but they can do more stuff.
To me, they didn't seem that like... I know they said that,
like
but
holding stuff with their hands and things like that.
I don't know if that was really worth it. I thought it would have been better to be able to move them around more, I guess. And
the puppets had to be bigger to deal with like motors and stuff in them, so that's why the critters are a little bit bigger in this movie.
Yeah.
They gave the critters names in this movie. Like, actually, in the movie, one of them's name was Blackie.
Right.
Which, when I always think about Blackie, I always think about Johnny Toe's...
Blackie's in trouble. We need to go help him.
Exiled?
Because they can call for help.
Yeah.
They have a help cry.
So if you want to see a movie with a character named Blackie, you can watch Critters 3, or you can watch Johnny Toe's Exiled. There's a character named Blackie in there that they reference with a photograph, and he's never in the movie anymore.
Wait, which movie got made first?
But that movie's better.
Yeah. But...
Oh, so yeah, Johnny Toe in Hong Kong watched Critters 3 and said, "I like the name for that character. I'm gonna make a guy in my movie be in the movie for 2 seconds as a picture."
Even Critters 3 is racking up points.
Yeah, go watch Exile. It's a great movie.
I know you want to talk about.
I'll talk about Asian cinema all day.
You can just start talking about it right now. But probably the thing the movie's best known for.
Have you seen Equalizer 2? No, you have not. There's a scene in Equalizer 2 where Denzel Washington
in Home Depot.
No, that's the first one.
Oh.
It's a lot better.
They didn't do it again?
No, they went into a hurricane for the second one.
They went to a hurricane?
Like, there's a hurricane.
They went to go visit a hurricane?
Well, they, like, go to a town that's, like, being evacuated from a hurricane, and then they, like,
we're going in.
They have their big, like, standoff at the end of the movie in a hurricane. Also, go watch Hurricane Heist.
Have you watched that?
I watched Hurricane Heist. It's so bad.
Better or worse
than
Hard Rain?
Huh?
Better or worse than Hard Rain?
What's Hard Rain?
With Christian Slater.
I've never seen it.
They want to go rob banks. It's like bank robberies on jet skis.
Oh, wow. Oh, well, that's Triple X. When they ride jet skis. Jet skis? No. Yeah.
No. I'm talking about Hard Rain.
Is it like the rain?
I thought it was called Hard Rain. Maybe it's not called Hard Rain.
I don't know. I haven't seen Christian Slater in a movie ever, so...
confused with Black Rain, which I think is...
I watched Hurricane Heist, directed by Rob Cohen. I think it's his name. And I'm pretty sure he did that movie because he did the first Fast and the Furious movie, and they got fucked out of the series, and they're like, you don't know how to make a good movie anymore. So he's like, watch me. I'll make Hurricane Heist. It's one of those movies. It's just fun to watch. It's so dumb. It's so bad, but I just want to watch. Anyways, Equalizer 2. He goes into a bakery, and he turns on a bunch of fans.
Kills everybody with pastries.
He cuts open big bags of flour.
Guys, wait, are you kidding? I was making a joke.
No,
this is like where he springs his trap in the bakery.
He goes in the back of the bakery, turns on the big fans, cuts open big bags of flour, stirs it up, and he does something else. I don't remember what it was. Whatever. What happens there happened in Critters 3, which they got the idea from for Equalizer 2. So there's a part in the movie where the critters are doing something and they're like throwing dust in the air. Like flour. Yeah,
they're
like
fucking around in the kitchen.
Yeah, something like that. And they're throwing flour everywhere. And one of, I think it was the Kyoto brothers, was like, one, you're ruining the dolls. Like the dolls, the figure.
Oh, there was something with the feathers.
Yeah, same thing with the feathers. Like when there's they ingest them, they get all up inside the stuff. Anyway, so there's flour everywhere. You can't have flour dust just like blowing in the air because it's reactive with I think it's water or oxygen, something or other. Do you remember again? Critters 3 got the idea here, or gave the idea for The Martian. Do you remember in The Martian when they have to slow down the Hermes? And he's like, build a bomb.
Slow down the herpes?
Yeah.
What?
Your cat's herpes got into The Martian, down to Matt Damon.
What's the Hermes? Oh, Hermes is like
Hermes is the big thing, that the spaceship.
Okay.
So they have to slow it down by blowing a big hole in the ship for the air to escape to slow down the thing, right?
A big hole.
A big hole in the hole. So she's like, sugar, liquid oxygen, you can make a bomb kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, flour has the potency to become poof fire.
Poof fire. Got it.
So what happened was...
Poo fire? Poo fire.
Poo fire. Yeah, it's like when you fart out your butt, yeah. There was a fire behind the scenes, and it wasn't like a big fire. It was like a fire, like, blow it out. It was more of a boom explosion.
Yeah.
Because they had flour dust in the air, and it reacted, and it just boom, went up. That's how Denzel Washington kills people in Equalizer 2.
Oh.
The guy walks into, and then he does something, and the whole room just explodes.
Nice.
That was a long tangent I just did.
I thought you were going to start talking about how he was just taking, like, 7-day-old French bread. spears and like shoving him down guys' throats or something.
No, that was a tangent with another tangent off that tangent. Which technically,
I heard you like tangents in your tangents.
Technically, a tangent off a tangent is just a right angle or parallel line. Mathematically speaking. See, if you have a circle, a tangent would be a line that only touches the circle at one point.
I think it would be wonderful if we finished the entire podcast without mentioning the one thing that's the only fucking cliff note that anybody cares about in Critters 3.
And there was about a week of shooting between Critters 3 and 4.
Yeah.
They had a week off to build the set, like tear down and build new sets, which is pretty impressive if that's true.
Yeah.
The first... So Billy Zane and a lot of the crew in the first Critters movie went on to be in Titanic and to win Oscars there and stuff like that. You know who didn't win an Oscar for Titanic?
Mick Garris.
No. Yeah, he did not win an Oscar for Titanic because he wasn't in Titanic.
Does his name start with L?
So you texted me. There's a Twin Peaks surprise in Critters 4, right? And my wife, we were sitting there, I don't know, and I put on Critters 4, or I look at the cast or whatever it was, and she goes, "Oh, Leo." I was like, "Wait,
which one?
Which Leo?" Yes, Leo from Twin Peaks is in Critters 4, but Leonardo DiCaprio is in Critters 3.
There we go. It's his first movie.
Yeah, and he's really good at it.
And he's like fucking, he just like came out of the womb like like just Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, he's better than all the adults in the movie.
Literally the cast is, yes, he's the best actor. This little kid.
Well, I mean, let's not forget that the lady with the curlers in her hair, she's pretty good.
Yeah, she was all right.
What is up with the landlord, the super? He talks like he's a New York guy, but he's joking around.
Oh, that guy was terrible.
What the fuck is that?
That was so bad. He was bad. That was bad. This is not a good movie.
I like it. It's actually okay.
I don't think it's like
once he dies.
It's not horrible.
Once he dies.
It's no budget.
And it's just in the apartment building. That's very Horror Siege.
I liked the callback to the bowling alley in the first movie because they throw something at the Krites and then they
don't even call back. They literally are watching bowling on TV. Yeah. And then it's like kind of not side by side, but a cut back and forth between bowling on TV and then her rolling a trash can down a set of stairs and hitting critters, which then makes the bowling pin sound, and the critters just fly everywhere. I
feel like critters are more of like a whack-a-mole gag rather than a bowling pin gag. I feel like there's a whack-a-mole.
That should be in somewhere. Yeah. Gag. Okay, I'm gonna spend 30 seconds right now, and I'm gonna just recap Critters 3.
Okay, go for it.
Poor people live in a building. The guy who owns the building is a rich asshole, whose son is Leonardo DiCaprio, and he kind of talks like Vincent Price. And he's like, "We gotta flush these poor people out so I can sell the building for more money to a developer or something. I don't know." And so they use the super and themselves to go like make living in the building suck by cutting the power and like the phone lines and shit. Like, that wouldn't even work. But I don't know what kind of laws there are for tenants in whatever state this was in. So it was supposed to be New York. That's like what the supposed to be thing is, but it's just not, obviously, because they're not going to shoot in New York. They even mentioned we didn't want it to look like Jason Goes to Manhattan, because what does Jason Manhattan do? There's New York for like 10 minutes. So they're like, we don't even want to try that.
It's worth it, though, when he kicks that guy's boombox.
But it's just crazy how like they had the right idea. They're like, hey, even if Jason couldn't do it, we're not going to attempt this. That's the difference between, well, I would say competent and incompetent. It was like, oh, I could do better than Friday the 13th, right?
Yeah. I think I get the logic, but it's also like, but you're saying that it's critters in the city, but you're just going to spend the entire time inside of an apartment building.
Yeah.
I actually, the concept of it, I have to commend,
I like it. I think it works as a horror siege.
On paper, like the idea that like, okay, it's going to be poor people in an apartment building.
Do you remember the movie, what the hell was it called? The Raid? Remember how they had to go up one level at a time in the building to get to the top to fight the boss?
No raid without critters.
I mean, come on. There was a fire at the bottom of the building. They had to slowly go up the building as the critters came in. Yeah. And the boss was on the roof. The boss was gravity. She had to fall over the side of the roof and hang to the bottom. Okay, so...
They did go outside the building. I forgot.
Yeah, so the guy wants to have the people move out. He wants to kick them out, evict them. So he gets there. He gets eaten. Leonardo DiCaprio's like, my dad, I didn't like him, but I didn't want him to get eaten. And then he's like, oh, you're the girl that I met at the park that I like. And you live in the building. What are you doing here? Oh, I like you. Let's go to the roof. Let's go to the attic first and then get stuck in the attic and then we'll go to the roof. And stuff happens and there's critters and they eat soap and make bubbles.
And then Charlie.
And then, oh shit, no, Charlie's in the beginning of the movie.
Just hanging out in a park.
In a pile of leaves.
Yeah.
He's like the crazy guy in the park who's like talks about aliens and shit like that. And he gives him a crystal that glows green.
Yeah.
It's the kid from Child's Play, isn't it? It's Andy.
Is it?
90. Oh, no. It's the kid from Kindergarten Cop.
Oh, that actually rings more.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Rings bells. Why does it ring bells?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a pretty forgettable movie, but it's enjoyable while you watch it, but like nothing of note.
Yeah,
okay, sorry, the Sonic the Hedgehog stuff. This is the one that has the spinning ball, which makes the noise like Sonic the Hedgehog. Yes. They both came out in 91. I don't know how one, I mean, again, they probably shot these in like 2 weeks.
I'm not even going back, the thing, I don't even think you need to go that far. I think like just go back to the first movie and they're rolling around in balls. They look like, I don't know. I think.
And they even have quills, like they can like kind of like a mohawk.
I mean, to be fair, Hedgehog is like
but Sonic has a
Hedgehog. The creature existed before Critter the monster.
But I mean, Sonic has like literally a mohawk of and there's no blue hedgehogs in the world that I know of.
And then Sonic the Hedgehog does shoot poisonous darts out of his head.
No, he doesn't. No. But yeah, there's some Sonic tie-ins here. I don't know what's up with that. Now, who made music for Sonic 3?
Michael Jackson.
Absolutely. There's no more to that story. That's the whole story.
Okay.
Michael Jackson was in Hollywood, so Critters 3 happens, and then it's over. I mean,
Critters
literally,
3
there's nothing to talk about.
Can we get that as like a tattoo? Like, just Critters 3 happens, and then it's over.
I mean, like, she's hanging from the phone wire, and she can't somehow unhook her foot from a loop.
Life's a bitch, and then you die.
And Critters is the bitch that kills you.
It's fine. It's fine.
I think the second half is much better than the first half. It's just there's nothing of note to talk about. I mean, nobody dies in any kind of like interesting way. It's an old couple. Obviously, they don't die. They're not going to let it eat grandma and grandpa.
They just didn't have any money. It's just...
But again, it's weird. I enjoyed this movie, but there's nothing for me to tell you about or talk about. There's nothing interesting that happens. It's like, oh, here's a funny thing we should mention or talk about. Just like, it just kind of happens. And the girl, she's cute. Leo's going to bang her one day because he bangs everybody anyways. You know what? She was the first member of the Pussy Posse. You don't know what that is? Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay, are you joking with me? Are you trying to joke on me?
I'm not making any jokes on you, friend.
Are you trying to make a funny? Leonardo DiCaprio is known to have
a lot of the sexy times,
and they call it the Pussy Posse.
I didn't know that. Okay. You're talking about like underage children.
Well, Leonardo DiCaprio was a child then. Critters 4
is better than Critters 3.
You're wrong there. 1992. Rupert Harvey. His only directing credit. He was mainly a producer on First Critters, The Blob, Elm Street 5.
Blob remake.
Yeah, I don't think he was producing the 1950-something Blob black and white movie.
We're time traveling a lot this podcast, so I don't know.
All right, Leprechaun 4. Hellraiser 4.
No.
Jason X.
Oh, I see what you're doing. I thought you were still listing off this guy's credits.
Oh, no.
Just like this is the horror and space guy?
Movies.
That's what he does?
What other space horror movies are there?
I didn't even know this one.
Not horror movies in space, but like...
I'm just saying, I was fucking delighted to add another like horror and movie in space thing. I didn't know Critters was going to
Can I blow your mind real fast?
Yeah.
Okay, Critters 4.
Yeah.
In space. All these Leprechaun 4.
Yeah.
Space.
Yeah. Hellraiser 4.
4. Space. Obviously, Jason X is not the fourth one, but...
10. Yeah.
Alien 4. In space. Who's in Alien 4?
Fuck you. Oh, Brad Dourif.
Brad Dourif. Who's in Critters 4?
Brad Dourif.
There you go.
Twin Peaks.
Yeah. Twin Peaks 2017.
I mean, what
are the chances he's in the fourth movie of another franchise and they're both in space?
Well,
now when is Child's Play going to go to space?
That's true that it hasn't done that yet. I feel like they'll probably do an episode in whatever this new show is, just like as a meta kind of thing.
So Brad Dourif is in Alien Resurrection. He's in Critters 4. He's the voice of Chucky. Charles Lee. Actually, he is the actor who plays Charles Lee Ray, who is the voice of Chucky the doll, obviously. So, yeah, whatever.
And he's awesome. So, even in this shitty movie.
Eric Del Rey, I'm pretty sure it's Eric. Yes, it's Eric Del Rey is Leo.
Yeah. So that's that hair.
That's top of my head. I'm like pretty certain because I'm confusing him with Wally Brando's dad, who's you loved Wally Brando and the fucking Michael Cera.
Michael Cera?
Yeah, remember in Twin Peaks.
Uh-huh.
When he plays Wally Brando.
Yeah.
His parents are Lucy and Andy. Andy's his name. I keep thinking Eric Del Rey might have been Andy, but Andy's name is like, it sounds like testicles, like hairy testicles. I can't remember what his name is. I have to look it up now.
I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
Yeah, it's really going off the rails.
I just like the Brad Dourifs in this movie, that's all. And Angela Bassett, holy crap. This has to be like one of her first movies, if not her first movie. She's probably like won an Oscar, or she should, or she will probably before she dies. But her first movie will be Critters 4.
His name is Harry Goes, so I always think of Harry Balls.
Harry Goatsy
and Goatsy. That's yes. There's your other Goatsy connection to this podcast.
Actually, so my note is who the hell is Ponytail? Where the hell is Ponytail guy from? And then right underneath it, it's Twin Peaks! Exclamation marks.
And he's basically is he a drug? Like is he the doctor?
I don't know what he is.
Why does he want to break into the pharmacy so bad and steal all unless he just wants to do a lot of drugs?
I thought he just thought he would sell them the black space market.
Because he's like an engineer, it seems like. He's like working on stuff and he wants to...
Everybody's an engineer in the future.
I mean, what else can you be, right? Okay, so the sets in this one are actually very impressive because you thought they would just use like the same hallway over and over. No, they built like a lot of different rooms and hallways and shit.
The green grass turf for like the green grass turf room.
What?
I don't know, I made a note of that because there's a room they end up in a lot that has like the plastic grass turf.
Oh, I didn't.
All over the furniture. The captain reminds me of the guy from The Room. You know, like hello.
You mean Tommy Wiseau?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess. I
don't know why.
Did you ever watch The Disaster Artist?
No, not yet.
It's so good.
It's good?
It really is good. It's one of those things where like everyone talks about how good it is and you're like, yeah, okay, whatever. And you watch it, you're like, yeah, everyone's fucking right. The movie's really good.
What's the thing that he says? Like, oh, hi, whoever. Mark? Oh, hi, Mark.
Yeah.
Okay. I felt like the score sounded like Tremors at some point.
There's some weird horn. Yes, you know what? There's some like Western-ish sounding music and it sounded like Tremors, yeah. Okay, so...
There's a Siri joke that predates Siri by a good long...
well, okay, I need to rewind Critters 3. Charlie shows up at the end of the movie to help out.
How long do you think it's going to be before we start saying rewind and people are like, what?
What is rewinding?
It won't matter because like this, what is it, Mark? Does your cell phone still have like a picture of a phone for your call sign? Like a phone?
Yeah, I know. That's a joke. You're just rehashing old stuff.
Great minds think alike.
No, it's just a joke.
Great, funny, hilarious people.
The first person who made that joke was funny, and then everyone else stole the joke. Obviously, remember, you can make a joke, but you can't.
The first joke was made in Critters.
Yeah, the first joke in humanity ever was in Critters. So I don't know what. Charlie shows up to help out, and then Ugg shows up as a hologram, which was an actual in-camera effect. They thought so they were doing dailies and shit. And they were showing some rough cuts to like a producer or executive or something like that. And they were like, why are you wasting money on optical effects when we haven't even finished cutting the movie? Like, we haven't finished editing yet. Why are you already putting effects in? They're like, that was done in camera. It was so impressive that the executives thought they had to, do that afterwards, like in post. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm like, the one with Ugg. Yeah. Anyways, Charlie sees Ugg. Ugg tells him something. Here comes a pod. Put the critters' eggs in the pod because they're the last two critters in the universe, and bounty hunters are not allowed to kill a species. Yeah. We have to preserve them.
Yeah.
And then Charlie gets in the pod, and the door closes on him, and Charlie floats in space for 53 years. I'm assuming the inside of that pod is just like a cryo chamber, like an alien or something.
Just like Alien, yeah.
So Charlie gets woken up 53 years later on a space station, which, man, humans progress a lot in 53 years.
Finds out his daughter has grown up and gotten old and died. Oh, wrong move.
It's funny because he's like, oh no, everyone I know is dead. I'm like, it's only been 53 years. Brad was like...
I made that note. I literally made that note. I know I did. Oh God, where is it?
But I'm like, Brad was like 19 when you left him. He's probably still alive.
That means everyone I know is dead. Yeah, if you didn't know anyone younger than 30?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. It's fine. It should be like 500 years or something, I mean, the kid that's in the spaceship, he's probably like 22, and he's never been to Earth. You're telling me that humanity has progressed that far in 53? I guess it's insane. Whatever.
They used a lot of sound effects from, I'm pretty sure that there's Blade Runner stuff.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
And also, there's they shoot a laser or something like that, and it's only because I've been watching Godzilla movies lately, and I'm like, that's King Ghidorah's laser mouth sound.
You want to know better than that? I've had this song since 2002? Oh, no, 2003, 4. Around that time. Rather than saying, oh, is this old? That's what year? Okay. You remember Jan Van Zant? Yes?
Goose Van Zant?
No. Chad's friend.
Jack built? What?
Chad's friend's Jan.
Oh, that's not Gus Van Zant. Good Will Hunting.
Yes, Gus Van Zant. But no, do you remember Jan?
Yonder? Beyond Yonder?
Can you stop? Jan, we shot a music video. You shot a music video with him?
Oh, Nautical.
Nautical? What is that?
Yeah, that was like his fun catchphrase.
Oh, I guess. Which I won't name the music video that you guys shot.
No, don't.
Anyways, I don't know where I'm going with the story. I completely forgot what I was talking about. Help me remember.
He wore big boots.
He did wear big boots, and he had makeup on his eyes. Yep. He gave me a CD back when CDs were a thing that he made me a mixtape, basically. Yeah. Like a cassette player, you know? Whatever. He made me he had, like, it was like an 80s, it like had an Africa Bambaataa on it, and like, you know, shit like that. He had a song on there, and I don't know half these songs because they're just random songs that are like
just
weird.
For the perfect beat.
One of them, well, I mean, besides that song, the rest of them were all just like, I don't know what any these songs are. I couldn't look at, I guess Shazam could find out what they are, maybe. I don't know. I've never used Shazam. I don't know. Is that still a thing?
I don't know. Can you still ask Jeeves?
Yeah. Jeeves, what is this song? It goes, beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, boop, beep, boop. Anyways, there's a song on that album that it's good. I like it. It's just like instrumental. I know I've heard this before. It's in a fucking movie somewhere, right? Literally last week. I haven't known for 15 fucking years where the song, I've heard it before. I started watching Snake in the Eagle's Shadow, Jackie Chan. The fucking song is in that movie.
No shit.
Yeah. Because there was that time in Hong Kong movies where they would use like newer synthy music for their soundtracks, even though the movies took place in like the 1800s, but they were shot in the 70s. And at the time, that was the music, kind of like a Goblin score would be in a Romero movie or not Fulci, but Argento, right? This song I've had on it's in my phone now. You know, I've been listening to it for 15 years. I didn't know where it was from. It's Snake in the Eagle's Shadow.
Nice.
Fucking crazy, right? Anyways, your Blade Runner thing made me, or your Godzilla thing made me think about that. Anyways. Critters. Anyways. So Charlie is found, the pod is rescued, the captain goes crazy trying to break open the pod because he wants to sell the shit on the black market, even though there's a company who wants to pay them money for it.
Very similar to Jason X.
Yeah. And Charlie's inside there, the critters come out, the baby critters kill the captain by jumping into his mouth.
And then you cut to like them finding him later, his mouth is fine.
Really?
Yeah. Because his mouth's fucked up when there's the critters like in it.
So you want to talk about like I think you're talking about the toilet in the first movie, the legs sticking out?
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but I remember maybe you're confusing them. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe you're wrong. And this one, when the critter leaps into his mouth, his little legs are sticking out. And they're just
Yeah.
And he just eats his like mouth. And the other one bites him on the shoulder, or back of the neck, or whatever, and he dies.
Yes, that's true.
Fuck that. That guy character was annoying as shit.
So I have a note here that just says crate in the mouth.
I'm drinking water.
They have like a Star Wars style garbage room scene.
Oh yeah. With fake water sounds. Because there's not actually water inside that container they were in, but they made it like splash sounds.
Like a bunch of little foam pieces or something.
Yeah. It's like one of those pits at like a what do they call them? I take my kids there. They're like trampolines. And then rock climbing, and then there's like foam pits.
Okay, here's something that's funny. I have a note that says, Colt 45 scene is good. Now, I couldn't remember what my note was about, so I was like, they have fucking malt liquor on the ship? And now I'm remembering that there's the thing where he's got the gun. And Charlie knows how to use it because he's, a human being from that era.
Yeah. Well, not that era.
You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure those Colts existed in like the 1800s or something like that. Speaking of which, I was watching True Detective, and it's just funny how there's
the new one?
Yeah. We're like 2 episodes in, and the guy pulls out his gun, and it's like a fucking 6-shooter. Yeah. Like, what year is it? 1980. Why do you have a 6-shooter still? I mean, come on, get a real gun.
6-shooters in the.
Huh?
I think a lot of cops had like 6-shooters.
No, not cop, just like a random person. Cops carried like the Magnum, the 357, like small, short, stub nose, they would call it. No, this was like a little chrome 6-shooter. Anyways.
I hope you enjoyed True Detective. I really enjoyed the 3rd season.
Cephaloid is a terrible spider face hugger creature effect.
Okay. What?
It's when your syphilis gets really bad and it breaks off from you, it becomes a cephaloid. No, there's like a face hugger creature in the metabolic chamber thing that it squirms, and it's the lamest piece of like prosthetic whatever, and then it's never in the movie again. I thought it was going to come out and like face hug somebody, but it literally does nothing, and it looks so cheap. It's like a plush toy. So bad. Do you know what I'm talking about? No, you don't remember?
I don't remember this part.
It's when they first get on the ship and they're like kind of walking around and looking at it and stuff. So basically what happens, they dock at a station that's been like decommissioned, and the nuclear reactor inside of it's like leaking radiation soon.
They were doing the aliens thing where they're like, we thought we were going to get salvage or some shit, right?
No, they
thought they were going to get salvage on the thing that Charlie was in.
Yeah. Okay.
Literally just ripping off aliens.
TerraCorp wants to pay them 3 times.
Whaling Yutani? What?
TerraCorp.
Oh, the company?
Wants to pay.
That company.
Yes, to pay. The corporation wants to pay them 3 times the value that they would have gotten for the scrap.
Right.
And he's like, it's worth so much more.
I can't believe they didn't have a character that turned out to be an android.
Whatever. So when they get to the space station, it's decommissioned, and they're walking around trying to get access to stuff. So, the AI that runs the system is kind of stupid and crazy and whatever. And
yeah, that was the Siri joke.
Yeah, well, there's a good joke, though, because it's like, you're not authorized to tell me what to do. And he's like, okay, Angela.
Reverse psychology.
Yeah, reverse psychology on an AI. Don't listen to what I have to say. And then immediately just gives him, like, unfettered access to everything. Yeah, Leo wants to get into drugs. He wants to get drugs. He goes there, and he gets eaten by critters when he's, like, stepping on pills and stuff. I don't think that I don't know what else the actor was in the time period, but I would like to see him, like, he's like...
Which one?
Leo.
Oh.
Like, he seems like he has a lot more...
Yeah, to me, he just was like a total just dirtbag guy. Like,
but what I mean is, like, as an actor, like, I feel like his charisma... his charisma as a character...
What charisma?
Okay, no, so, like, there's a part when they go... I don't remember what his character's name is. I could look it up, but I don't care. They're like, oh, the young kid is down in the docking bay. We got to go. And he's like, the captain was going to leave us here. He was going to steal a thing and take us here. And Leo says something. And I'm like, he just has more, like when he talks as the character, I don't know, I'm just going on a fucking tangent here of stupidity. He's more interesting. I would like to have seen him in more movies. I thought he's actually an interesting actor. I mean, when he plays Leo in Twin Peaks.
You're wishing Critters 4 was longer is what you're saying.
Yeah. I wish Leo didn't die as soon. I'm just saying the guy had a lot more stage presence than... Even Brad Dourif for that. I know. I'm just joking there. Even Angela Bassett's character, like, she's fine as an actress, but, like, the character doesn't have much.
She tried. I mean, she's acting.
But, like, there's, like, a point where they're, like, laughing after the shower, and you're like, that didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But, like, Leo has, like, I feel like there's a lot of hidden potential in him, and I just want to see him act. Whatever. Personal thing.
Are you ready to put Critters to bed?
Oh, yeah. Brad Dourif seems to know that there's man-eating hairballs when he's never seen a critter. So I don't know how he figured that out.
Brad Dourif is God.
There's an homage to Alien when Dallas goes into the vent with the motion tracker.
Yeah, they made a movie that was an homage to Alien. What? Oh, what did you say?
There's an homage in the movie when they go like Dallas does with the motion tracker and the flamethrower.
Yeah.
It's right. It's coming up. You should, yeah. Leo. They didn't eat Leo. They just killed him and moved on. And I was like, dude, you broke your own lore. Like, they want to eat. And then literally 10 seconds later, Charlie goes, well, they don't normally run away from a meal. I was like, God damn it. Like, I thought I got you, Critters, and then you got me back, because, yeah, there's a reason for that. My prediction was Critters were going to eat the drugs, and they were going to, like, grow and form into some weird fucking things, and that never happened.
Or just seeing them trip out. Just tripping balls for a few minutes would have been fun, too.
They look better once they grow a bit.
Yeah.
I think there was, like, a baby one that was all slimy that was really cute, and I was like, that was pretty gross, but I didn't care for, like, the baby pink critters. I liked them when they're bigger and do more shit. Also, Critters can use computers. They know how to type. They know all language. And
they can fly spaceships. And
so all the doors are going to lock because we're on lockdown. But, you can just go through the floors if you want. Like, that's a real good lockdown.
Well, that's what happened in Aliens.
This place didn't get locked down, though.
No, but they were like, we sealed all the doors. I don't know. We must have missed something. They're just in the fucking... They're right above the fucking...
ceiling tiles, the drop ceiling.
Yeah.
The plenum space.
What do you call that area?
Plenum.
Is that really what it's called?
Depends. So
I thought that was the area between your butthole and your...
That's your taint.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know what the actual term for that is. I forgot what it is. No, a plenum space would be if you have air return in the ceiling. It's complicated. Like,
all right,
I mean, I don't know for sure. I just know that I learned. Like,
I need to be able to drive home and not fall asleep in the car, so please don't tell me more about this.
Plenum space, because you have to get cables that are plenum rated if you want to put them in a hot ceiling, because air conditioners sometimes use the drop ceiling area for whatever. I worked a little bit of construction. They find more eggs. Charlie says incubation is 6 months, so they just leave them. And then somehow they put them in the metabolic machine so they hatch early. Whatever. There's only 6 bullets in that Colt 45, by the way. So Charlie wastes 5 of them right off the bat, and he kills 1 critter. And then he destroys the ship, and they can't leave, and they're going to die. Oh, the one that was left was the bald one, but not from Critters 3. He's bald because of something else. I don't know why.
What happened to Blackie, though? Did he die?
They all died, right? Oh. Because the building burned up in 3, right? Yeah. Or what happened at the end of 3? They killed them all?
Maybe.
I wrote in my notes, like Tremor's music score, string banjo guitar.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Which we used in our AVP video.
Stupid people off doing their own thing. Like, let's split up and go different places. And just like, all right, whatever. Not Ugg shows up, and he's a bad guy now.
Oh, yeah. I didn't like that. Did there end up being like a twist where he said he's just turned into an asshole?
He told Charlie things change.
That sucks.
I'm assuming he like got into a position of like he's in charge now, so he has. Yeah, it does. Well,
I didn't like that.
I don't either. And I think what they said is like we wanted to have kind of a twist in there, or like kind of change it up for the audience. But I'm like,
that's a shitty twist. A bitter twist would have found out that somebody that's impersonating him because they thought they killed him, and then he comes back and it's heroic at the end or something, and then they're buddies again. And everyone, they go off and they fight. They find bounties together
because everyone liked that character.
Yeah,
yeah. It kind of sucked to see him shoot Brad Dourif, and then
Ugg wasn't some like I don't know. He was like a nice guy. Like you rooted for him.
At one point, when the first movie, I think he saves Brad. He's like he smiles at him and like pats him on the shoulder.
Yeah,
like Ugg was kind of okay. It's terrible horn music. I don't even remember. It's just bad. Oh, the end of 3. Let's go back to 3 again. The end of 3 does a thing with the credits where Charlie's looking around in the basement and then it'll freeze frame.
It says to be continued.
No, it freeze frames and then like it shows like credits for the movie, like as he's freeze framed in the background, and then after 10 seconds of that, it'll like keep going again. There's really good music in the end of Critters 3. Like the last scene of the movie during the credits when Charlie's looking around, it's a really fun like song music cue with like this kind of credits freezing frame and kind of going. I don't know. I like the end of Critters 3.
Just skip to the end of Critters 3 and listen to the music.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
Ethan is the kid's name. He's running around tricking Angela to close doors. Stormtroopers are searching for the eggs. There's a lot more critters and they eat the stormtroopers. Then he juggles the eggs and then drops one and then drops the other one on purpose.
Yeah, I remember this.
Because Ugg really wants it. And then he like throws it and then he knocks out Ugg and then there's a freezer, cold thing. They freeze a critter, like nitrogen, whatever. Then he tells him to chill out.
Yeah.
So that was actually that's where Schwarzenegger got all his ideas from.
Batman and Robin.
Oh yeah. Chill out.
Yep. Everybody freeze.
Just kind of shows how much of a hack Simon Pegg is, because like in Hot Fuzz when he's like knocked him out, put him in the freezer, and I told him to cool off. See, they just stole their material from Critters 4. Yeah. You're a hack, Simon. You've been watching too much Critters. Which I bet you anything he's probably watched. He's probably seen Critters.
Fucking tea.
He's probably listening to this podcast right now.
That's a nice. Actually, that's a terrible thought.
I miss meeting those guys. Which you've never done.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't meet Edgar.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean I met Edgar Wright. I didn't.
Oh yeah, we met him, and then when you did meet them, it was fucking so bad.
Yeah, we don't need to tell that story.
Woo, that's good. Okay. Anyways, so Charlie shoots Ugg and says, "Yeah, things do change," or something like that. 3 minutes to live. Oh, it's great. So the AI in the station is like, "You're going to die in 3 minutes. I'll play you a song where the song's length is 3 minutes. So when the song ends, you blow up and die." That was pretty funny. So they fly. They take the Ugg spaceship and fly away. And somehow Charlie has sunglasses on the spaceship now. I don't know where he got sunglasses from. Why would you need sunglasses in space?
Well, just you flew by a sun, it'd be pretty bright, right?
I'm pretty sure you don't look
closer to it than we are.
And then of course they're like, "Charlie, don't push any buttons," and then he pushes a button and the movie ends or something like that.
No.
I don't remember what happened.
Charlie, that guy.
The director was British, and at the time, horror movies were a lot darker than American movies when it came to horror. So this movie was a lot.
It was definitely darker than the other.
Like, there's no like funnies in this one really. It's just kind of like, oh man,
yeah,
it's kind of sad. The screenplay was different than the final script, so the effects and some other things weren't prepared for that change. So when they show up to like shoot something, they're like, "Well, we built it like this." They're like, "Well, that was a screenplay. The script we've modified it." So they're like, "We don't have what we need to do this." So yeah, it was a shit show of a movie shoot, I think.
Yeah.
And the Kyotos weren't even there. They were like using their proteges and their up and comers. And they said they felt really bad because they really needed to be there.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things went wrong because they didn't have the experience to do what they would have done instead.
They were there hands on with Critters 3?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. So the set that was built, Roger Corman, I guess, wanted to reuse that set to do a 10-day movie. Again,
sounds
Roger
right.
Corman movie. Yeah, so he was like, "Okay, we just use it," but the set they didn't get to, and the set got torn down. It was interesting. There is a Critters Bounty Hunter. It's a 2014 fan film. I didn't watch it. I watched 10 seconds of it, and I forgot to finish it. And then Critters New Binge was being done by the Kyoto Brothers. Should be out in 2019 on Sci-Fi. Actually, it's on Shudder, I think.
Yeah.
That is the Critters series, folks. I am so hungry. There's a mockingbird outside this door making noise. It's been driving me fucking insane for the last hour.
I've been good on my diet, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to not be good on my way home.
I'm going to go inside and eat a bunch of chips.
Would you... Well, let's just do the ranking thing real fast.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I go 2, 1, 4, 3.
You always have some
2, 1, 4, 3.
Stupid reason to...
2, 1, 4, 3. And...
Is that your pin code?
I have another question for you.
Question away.
Would you recommend that somebody buy this box set?
if you're a fan of Critters, at least like one.
What if you don't know anything about Critters?
I mean, like if you were like, oh, like me, like I had seen one of the Critters as a kid.
Like now that you've seen all
Shut
these
up.
and you didn't buy it, are you going to buy it?
Well, no, you already own it. I don't need to own 2 copies of it. If you care about behind the scenes, there's a full length. Well, maybe not feature length, but it's like an hour and 20 minutes documentary in the first one. There's an hour documentary on the second one, and then there's like there's a 20-something minute documentary for the third and the fourth one. Like each one gets their own.
Red shirt pictures.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're talking 3 hours worth of documentaries for the movies. There's like raw footage, behind the scenes footage from back then. So there's a lot of like special features that
Power of the Night music video.
No, there's not. No, they said that there's a full video. They shot a video for that. It exists somewhere. If you're a fan of Critters, yeah, the box set's totally worth it. Like for me, like I hadn't seen the other ones. This was my chance to see them in, high definition. So I would have bought it, but you already got it. Yeah, I think it's, it is what it is. As with most horror stuff, it is what it is. It's up to you if you want to buy that shit. I have a question for you. I really don't, though. I'm just joking.
All right.
What do you should you buy it?
I did buy it. Somebody else bought it for me. I'm not going to get rid of it.
Right.
I think 1 and 2 are like
totally competent films.
They should actually like release 1 and 2 as just like single things that people can buy. So you don't have to feel like you're spending $60.
Yeah, it's really expensive. I mean, I get it. There's a lot of production value.
It's like,
and stuff,
you get 1 and 2, and then like as a bonus you get 3 and 4. But I think 1 and 2 are pretty great. If you like monster movies and creature features and stuff, I enjoyed them quite a bit. Yeah, this is the only way you can watch them. So they should remake Critters.
The
bounty hunters chasing after the monsters. There's a lot of fun stuff there, and it's still a good creature design. It's too bad that it's going to get relegated to this Shudder thing, even though I'm going to watch it. Maybe it'll be fun. But it really should. This is like a perfect candidate for like remake territory, in my opinion.
I was reading your comment reply.
How about the chicken thing?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. You said something that made me want to say something, but I don't know what you said that I was going to say, and I forgot what I was going to say.
So they should remake it.
Oh, I think it would fall into the pit of what happened with Critters 2. They realized no one actually cared for a Critters sequel.
No, but I think that there's no brand awareness.
What my wife said,
it's a good idea.
What my wife said, which was, I was like, God damn it, she was right. And she said that the first movie was literally just no bounty hunters. It was just a family on a farm, horror siege style, fighting off these critters, and then in the end, kill them all. That would make a good, tight, claustrophobic, tense, scary horror film.
But then that'd be pointless because it's been done so many times already.
Yeah, but
the bounty hunter stuff is what makes it unique.
That's what makes it fun.
Well, it is fun. It should be.
I'm saying that's what the series becomes a lot funner and weirder. But I remember watching the parts when like the dad, the shotgun, and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, this is a pretty good horror film on its own right here. You bring in all the other stuff, it becomes kind of campy,
There's 10 billion movies where people have to.
But a good one. If you were going to remake it for today's audience, you would make that movie, and it would probably
call it Critters, though.
Yeah, you'd have to call it like Krites or something.
Not. All right, I am literally all done.
It's so funny because all the jokes that we had earlier, there's none left anymore.
No, this is fumes.
You should
put.
Listen to the podcast backwards. We get more serious as we go along.
It builds if you go the other way.
Yeah, we climax real early. We basically pull the goatsy right out of the bag in the first 20 minutes. On a Halloween, just like pass out goatsy stickers. Goatsies for everybody. All right, I think that's gonna do it.
What are we gonna do next? Let's decide right now.
Nightmare on Elm Street, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
We went a lot of months. I think the last one we did was like August.
Yeah.
Which is like we went a really long time without doing one of these. So
maybe we'll just do another poll. Let other people decide.
I think that we won't wait that long this time, but we're not going to do it like for April. Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Like maybe May.
You don't want to do Halloween ever?
I mean, they're making new Halloween movies now. So where do we stop? Like if we do Halloween, we do it for like the Halloween 2 that's going to come out.
At some point, I just want to know if I have your permission to just watch Halloween movies. Because if I watch all the Halloween movies and then like right after I'm done doing that, you're like, let's do the Halloween movies. I'm going to be like, fuck you. I just watched them.
We'll do it. Have they made a release date for the new Halloween sequel?
I don't know.
Probably next year. Probably not this year.
Something like that.
So, I mean, if it's going to come out, we'll like we did for Creed, we'll kind of gear up and do
what
it
else
for them.
We got Wrong Turn.
Oh, I can't wait to do that. Is that all we have right now, really? It's just those couple. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I don't have
everything. I have them all.
No, you don't. All of them?
Yeah.
Even the fucking weird ones before they started remaking them and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I want those.
Leatherface, and then the 2 that were Rob Zombies.
How did you get
between you and Netflix.
Wait, Rob Zombie?
Yeah, Rob Zombie made 2 Halloween movies. Halloween 1 and 2.
You said Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, sorry.
Yes,
okay.
I have all the Halloween movies. You have all Halloween movies because I have all the Halloween movies. God, the Rob Zombie one's fucking terrible.
How many Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies are there?
I don't even know. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's 1 and 2 because they were both by Tobe Hooper, and then I've never seen...
Terrible as they are.
You've never seen 2.
Seen part of it.
You wouldn't watch Dennis Hopper having a chainsaw fight with a fucking Leatherface at the end and just tell me that movie has no merit. What's his face? Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger. They were in like a...
Really?
And I think it was actually called Leatherface.
There was that Jessica Biel remake.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
reboot.
Post-remake, I could tell you how many there are and what's going on with it. But there were, I think, 4...
There's this thing called Wikipedia. It'll tell us everything.
I think that there's... But because I don't think they were all available on Blu-ray until just now. And they're expensive. I'm not going to spend $20 on a shitty Texas Chainsaw sequel unless somebody out there tells me that I should.
You need validation from strangers to spend your money.
Not on that. Not this
well,
year.
They have to watch the new Leprechaun movie.
Oh, yeah.
Probably do a Films in the Bucket on that.
Okay.
This was a Films in the Bucket, but we forgot to say that in the beginning, so...
Let's rewatch Hellraiser.
I do want to do that, actually.
Nobody wants us to do that, but we do.
Oh, we do. And one person did. I think they'll tell me it was you. Like, you voted on it. Yeah, we have Wrong Turn, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, some of the Texas Chainsaw.
Before you guys start throwing 10 million recommendations out underneath.
Dude, nobody's listening to this. We're just talking to each other at this point.
Oh.
This far in, no one goes to the end.
Let's do the Saw movie. Oh, we already did this. I don't know. There's probably some other ones that are like all streaming somewhere and just don't know, you know?
I feel like we bought stuff that we just haven't got around to yet.
I don't think so. Like, I bought Halloween. I got Nightmare on Elm Street, but I got the Wrong Turn set because it was $6 or some shit.
Yeah, it's probably really interesting for people to listen to. Us just thinking about what we own.
Said that we're already done.
Yeah. Okay. That's going to call it. Critters, it's done. Blu-ray's out there. Go get it if you want it. If you get it, you might get one where you have 2 copies of Critters 1.
Oh, yeah. That was
or 2 copies of Critters 2. There was some manufacturing defects, let's just say that, or in the handling process. Go to Amazon, read the reviews. There's a lot of people who have like, hey, I have 2 copies of 3, but no copy of 4. You know, so that might happen because it happened to you.
It did.
So you have to return it and get a new one.
You got to do the old Amazon order another one trick.
Yeah. So that's something to think about. That's going to be it for us. Sorry we wasted your time.
Well, they wasted their own time, if we're being honest.
Yeah, hey, fuck you. It's your fault. You should have known better. If you haven't figured this out by now, we've been doing this for a while. It ain't going to change. It's not going to get any better. And let's hope this actual recording works because we recorded on a different piece of equipment, and I don't know what's going to happen. So, whatever. Good night.
Good night.